Like this. Hit it.
The Roger Report live morning show. Weekdays at 9 a.m.
Say y'all, I was on Roger's panel a few times and I couldn't take it. The heat. I got out the kitchen. It was hot. I was sweating. I had to get out.
He's Roger, and he's right.
Check this out.
We can live or die. You choose. I have spoken to you a lot of times in hatred and anger, and you have not heard me. Well, you had better hear me today. If you won't listen to me when I make an appeal for the Negroes because you have no concern for the Negroes, listen to me when I make an appeal for America. You claim you love America. Well, we love America. But you are driving us back and you are making a Samson out of us, and we are going to pull down the pillars. And then you think we have no right to ask for something? Is it too much to ask you to grant us human dignity? Should we be put down and shot to death for this request? If so, you can aim your guns. What the hell do you think we care about dying if you're going to deny us the right to live?
Good morning, folks, and welcome to another edition of the Roger Report Live, the best show on social media. If you are new to the channel, go ahead and take a moment out to hit that like button, because this is where you're going to find the best content on social media, and you don't have to worry about it because you're going to have me right here to make sure that happens. And if you've already been coming to the channel for a while, then go ahead and hit that like button, because you already know what time it is. And you know that this is where you're going to get the best content on social media. It's not a mystery to you at this point. You've seen other people do it. You've seen other people do it well, but what you have not seen is anyone do it quite the way I do it. So make sure you hit that like button, and everyone, yes, everyone, take a moment out to share the content, y'all. There are so many people who need to get great content like this, and it's just a small thing you can do to help the world be a better place. And isn't that what we want at the end of the day? Don't we want the world to be a better place? Of course we do. So share the content out. Share it through your social media. Share it through word of mouth, or even text someone's phone. But do what you got to do to help spread the word. All right, folks, today we have a very, very interesting show, as if we do anything other than very, very interesting shows. I mean, we do the greatest stuff around here, y'all. We do the greatest stuff around here. And today, we are going to deal with, can you tell your husband to grab my box, okay? That's what we're dealing with today. Can you tell your husband to grab my box, okay? Woo! We're going to talk about a little help between the ladies, y'all. A little help between the ladies, y'all. And this one gonna be good. I already know it. I'm already tickled pink, as they say. I'm already tickled pink by it. So yeah, this one gonna be good, y'all. Can you tell your husband to grab my box? Now, before we go too far into this, let me say shout out to everybody who, all my regulars who give me regular views. Shout out to all y'all, whether you on the live side or if you in the replay gang, either one. Same thing, y'all. Shout out to all the people who give me regular views. Appreciate it big time. Appreciate you big time. Shout out to all the people who leave comments after the stream. That helps with the algorithm. You're doing me a great service to do that. Shout out to the people who hype me up every chance they get. Appreciate you big time. Appreciate you big time. Y'all got to let the platform know this what's cooking over here. This is what's cooking over here, okay? You got to love it. You got to love it. Shout out to all the people who hit that like button. Y'all, hitting that like button is a big, big, big deal. Like button got to be hit. If you don't do nothing else, you got to hit that like button, okay? And I understand some people be quick. They in here, they get excited. You kind of forget. You got to get out the chat for a second. Go hit that like button. Come on back. And if you're catching it on the replay, make sure you hit that like button too, y'all. I don't care how old the stream is. You hit that like button. Real talk. You hit that like button. But shout out to the people who go above and beyond the call of duty, who become financial contributors over here at the Roger Report Live. Y'all allow me to do things that I wouldn't be able to do on my own. So you are a great help to the show itself. So I appreciate each and every one of you big time. And got to say shout out to my main man, Clubber Lang. Clubber Lang 78. He is the sponsor of today's stream. Shout out to Clubber Lang. Appreciate you big time, my brother. Appreciate you big time. Real talk, y'all. Now, y'all, we gonna get into this, y'all. We got some stuff that's been brewing up on social media. Okay, we got some women out there, starting to look at certain things in a certain way because it's about who's supposed to be in service to who's supposed to help who's supposed to do what. All of a sudden, some woman needs some help. She talked to some man, but he happened to be married. She wants some help at the grocery store. I guess that was the grocery store. She wants some help, y'all. The example that was used was a box of noodles. Hey, we can work with that box of noodles. Okay, we're going to work with that box of noodles, y'all. Whoo! Let's look at what is going on here. And y'all keep in mind, because I know a lot of men going to be here. We might get some women in here too, but a lot of men going to be here, y'all. I want y'all to understand, this is the the unchecked thoughts of women, y'all. The unchecked thoughts of women, y'all. Sometimes, I explain what the women perspective is, but, sometimes it's just better to see it for yourself. This is what the women say, y'all. Now, as crazy as it is, I want y'all to know, they come up with this stuff on their own. Y'all be thinking Roger's crazy sometimes with some of the stuff I say, but I'm telling y'all, when you get to know women, what goes on in their head sometimes. What goes on in their head. Shout out to Compassionate and Callous. Salute to you, big brother. Salute to Louis. He came up with this for y'all. He came up with this. He brought this to my attention. I had to do something with it. So let's roll that beautiful bean footage.
Y'all, I'm in Kroger, and you would not believe the audacity some people have. Me and my husband are in the shopping. My husband, the baby. Mr. Baby, the baby. We in Kroger shopping. We on our house now. I'm looking at stuff. And this woman is with another woman. And she's like, sir, excuse me, sir, can you reach this off the top shelf for me? We're short. I look at them. I look at him. He look at me. He said, boo. The fact that he knew he needed permission to help these people, and the fact that they thought they could just ask him and he was going to move for them. The audacity. Ain't that right, boo? That done tickle my soul.
Yo, I think she's weird. I don't care. I don't know. I want to hear your opinions, but I think she's a weirdo. Like, why are you flexing that your husband had to ask permission from you to get freaking, I don't know, a box of noodles off the top shelf for women that were short? Like, what is so disrespectful about that? I can see if they was coming over to your husband, rubbing him on his shoulder, saying, hey, daddy, or oh, you sexy, you smell good. Can you do something for me? I need a favor. I can't. They didn't do nothing like that because according to you, they were polite and said, excuse me, sir. Can you please help me get something off the shelf? I can't reach it. And then you flex and talk about, so, oh, they thought that he was going to jump for them. Who said it was? Girl, you take it a little bit too far. Ain't nobody was trying to see if he would move fast and do something for them because his wife was there. Like, girl, stop it.
I got to say, interesting way for her to describe the situation. But y'all, these are unchecked thoughts of women. Now, I listened to her, and I got to say, everything she's saying, you probably 100% wrong. Yeah, they are looking to see how quick that dude gonna move for them. Yes, they are. Why? Because I have to think about this is women doing this stuff. This is not men. Okay, yeah, we will move about things in a more logical way sometime. And with men, yeah, it probably is, hey, I'm short, can you grab something for me? Whatever, blah, blah, blah. But this women always taking slice at each other. You know, whole lot of women are constantly taking slice at each other. And they do it in all kinds of ways. Some of them a little more overt. Some of them are more covert. But they love taking swaps at each other. So I'm going to say, I hear what she's saying. I don't believe her. I do think the women were trying to, they were trying to do something because they didn't even acknowledge that woman. But, there's some other takes on this. So let's see one of those other takes. Roll that beautiful beam footage.
He needed permission to help these people, and the fact that they thought they could just ask him and he was gonna move for them.
I want to weigh in on this conversation as a married woman. My husband is 6'1", 6'2", and it's a woman nearby who needs some help getting something off the top shelf. Hear me when I say this. Let me find out that my husband ain't helping with their groceries. Because I talked to the manager at Costco today, and he said you weren't helping bitches with their groceries. I'm going. You will help short kids with their groceries. If something is on that top shelf, you will be picking it up. Make myself clear. Yes. I love you. And let me tell you something. I don't care if you're 7 months old or not. One day, when people need help with their bags, you helping them.
The fact that he knew he needed permission.
Now, y'all. Now, granted, I'm gonna say that young lady is a comedian. She is a comedian, according to something I seen on her page. She's an actual comedian. But comedy is built from a lot of things that are truthful. Okay, comedy is built for a lot of things. Well, built from a lot of things that are truthful. And I'm gonna say that 7-year-old better watch out. Okay, well, that 7-month-old, I should say. He only 7 months. I don't know what he gonna do. Because for a good while, he gonna just do what mama tell him. So I'm gonna say pray for the 7-month-old. Pray for the 7-month-old because he got to do what mama tell him. Now, remember, y'all, these are unchecked thoughts of women. Okay, we getting it raw and we getting it in the real. Okay. Now I'm not even the first woman who I disagree with her perspective, because I know women be catty and they be doing stuff to each other and they be taking all kinds of little slice toward each other. I'm gonna say this particular one slightly more reasonable, that's my opinion on it, slightly more reasonable. But let's see what she has to say about this situation. Go on, let it roll.
There's a young lady getting chewed out by the internet right now. And I hate it because, I agree with her. I thought it was customary to, if you see a woman with a man and they look like they locked in. If they're in the grocery store together, they're most likely locked in. I thought it was customary girl codes. I thought it was girl code to address the woman first. Don't talk to my nigga, not talk to me. It has nothing to do with insecurities. Y'all getting on her because of how they look. That's the only reason. If she was beautiful in your eyes or he was handsome in your eyes, it wouldn't have been a problem. But y'all are only getting on her because of how they look. Shit. Don't ask my nigga shit. No, in that situation, okay, you needed his help, cool, whatever. But like, address me. Hello? Can I borrow your husband? Say something funny like that. You know what I'm saying? Don't just go straight to asking him for help. I don't know. I don't like that. I don't like that. I would never do that. Like, it has, again, y'all always think it's an insecurity thing. No, it's a respect thing. Don't address my man. Don't ask for his help. Don't talk to him. Like, no. Address me first. Ask me, is it okay? Duh, it's okay, but it's just respect. It's just respect. I hate y'all showing her out. I had to come to her defense.
All right, y'all. And you know what? We got going so quick today because unfortunately we didn't get started at the time that we wanted to. Christmas was yesterday, as y'all know. So we got held up due to, some hold up due to Christmas. Okay, hold up due to Christmas. Christmas being yesterday. But I got to at least acknowledge what we like to call around here the Highlander of today's stream. First one in. Got to at least acknowledge that. Shout out to everybody else who came in. It's always great to see people coming in when you get a show started. But I cannot do this without acknowledging the Highlander of today's stream, which it happens to be my main man, Floyd Thompson. Yay. Good to see you, my brother. Good to see you. Shout out to everybody else who came in before we got started. It's always great that y'all come in. But we trying to save a little time because we got to start a little late due to things attached to Christmas. But we going to keep it rocking. We going to keep it rocking. Shout out to Red Pill Sleepers and Rogers on Z-Time. Now, I ain't going to do it like that, y'all. I ain't going to do it like that. We just kind of making the move due to Christmas. Now, I do have one guest backstage. I do see you. I'm going to bring you up shortly. But we got one more video that we want to check out. And you know what? I definitely want this one in. Because now we have the quote-unquote beautiful white woman who wants to chime in on this. We got that lovely white woman who wants to chime in. And I'm saying this because y'all know how black women are about black men and white women. All the white women fine as I don't know what, according to black men, if you ask a black woman. So we're going to let this beautiful white, delicate flower add her 2 cents to the conversation, and then we can really get it rocking, y'all. But shout out to my main man, Jerome Payne, coming through with the first super chat of the day. Thank you very much, and thanks for helping me get off to the good start, my brother. He said, salute, sir. I'm saluting right back at you. And we're going to take a pause right here, and we're going to listen to this beautiful white woman, this precious white woman give her opinion on this particular situation. But we're going to have a black woman follow her right behind. Right behind her, a black woman going to say what she got to say too. So go ahead and let this one roll.
One is you letting me borrow your husband, and not in that way, you freaking weirdos, but like in the way where you both come over and he helps, hang my TV and lift all the heavy things, and we drink wine at the same time, and I'll make you both dinner, and he can have a beer at the same time too. Like it's a win-win-win-win. But I need to borrow your husband.
In the words of Jalen Hurts,
no, man.
Absolutely not. And it's wrong to even ask. It would be no different than a man saying, can I borrow your wife? Because I need some laundry folded. I need some meals being cooked. I need this house to be cleaned. Can I borrow your wife? I'll give her some wine. Ma'am, if you need a shelf built, heavy furniture moved, a TV mounted, call TaskRabbit, not somebody else's husband. No one should be loaning out their partners to anyone. It's one thing if he volunteered. It's another thing for you to be like, girl, just let me borrow him. No, ma'am. Because you're friends with the wife doesn't mean that you have access to her husband. And at this big age, nobody should even have to tell you that. I have to do what every other single woman has done, and that's figure out how to do it without a man's help. There are so many resources available to single women that do not involve you asking to borrow somebody's partner. Take advantage of AAA or TaskRabbit or getting your groceries delivered. Hire a lawn care service or movers. Figure out how to live your life without the assistance of a man if you don't personally have one. Now, we will not be normalizing borrowing somebody else's husband because it's abnormal to even ask.
Can we normalize you letting me borrow?
You know what? Do me a favor, compare. Let the white woman talk again. You ain't got to let the black woman talk again. I want y'all to hear what the white woman said. Go, let her play one more time, real quick.
Your husband, and not in that way, you freaking weirdos, but like in the way where you both come over and he helps, hang my TV and lifts all the heavy things, and we drink wine at the same time, and I'll make you both dinner, and he can have a beer at the same time too. Like it's a win-win-win-win. But I need to borrow your husband.
Okay, I'm gonna say y'all. At least that white woman is offering wine, beer, and dinner. At least she got the good sense to offer wine, beer, and dinner. I mean, she's saying, hey, I'm going to pay you some kind of homage, some kind of respect. At least she's thinking, can we make this a win? Now, of course, I got a lot more to say about this, but I'm going to chill right now because I got two guests that then came up. But I'm going to say, let's give the snowflake some credit. That beautiful white woman that, black men just can't stay away from, as y'all want to say it on the internet. Okay, at least that beautiful white woman is offering wine, beer, whatever taste you got, she got you faded. And she gonna offer you some dinner. Okay? At least she'll give your husband something to eat. And I'm gonna leave it right there and let these guests get in. So, Lena, you came up first. We're gonna let you have it. How you doing, Lena? What you got to say on this situation? This should be very interesting. What you thinking about what's going on here?
Good morning, Roger. I hope your holidays was nice. I the last woman, I understood what she was saying a little bit. Like it could be a bit much. It's like a neighbor or something constantly asking your husband to do some big, chores that take him away. I could see that. But for her to say that over that, you just handed a woman a box. I felt like I don't think it's just because she's a woman. I just think common courtesy. Like if you just say hello, to both of them, you just don't annoy them. Like, hey, good morning. Hey, can you help me out? Just say, can one of y'all help me out? I can't get this box. I'm too short or something. And that's it. And then I felt like her saying, oh, he better ask me, blah, blah, blah. I think that was disrespectful because you got to think about even if you're a woman, if your husband said, "Hey, she better ask me to do that," you would feel some type of way. You would be like, "That's insensitive." So I felt that it was like taking away. She is a comedian, so maybe she meant it to be funny, but she was really serious or something. It came off a little disrespectful to her mate because I can't tell somebody.
The comedian was the black woman who grabbed the belt and was telling the 7-month-old. She was the comedian. Nobody else was a comedian that I know.
Oh, so that first lady really said that. She was for real.
As far as I know.
Oh, she was crazy. And I wouldn't put it on the internet. That was crazy too. Why would you put that on the internet? That was too much. So I think she was wrong.
Okay. Now, shout out to my main man, Inspired Truth Broadcast. He said, at least that white woman isn't calling us ninjas or treating us like one. Uh-oh. Beer, wine, dinner, y'all. That's all I'm saying. Beer, wine, dinner. Win. She was going to try to make it work for everybody. But I'm just saying. But I'm going to chill. And I'm going to give the flow to Sergeant Corner, USMC. Okay, we got the Marines are represented in the building. Yo, thank you for your service, brother. Thank you for your service. You have the flow.
Hey, what's up, Roger?
How you
What's up,
doing?
panel? Chat. I hope your Christmas was good. Roger, as you know, I am a manager at a supermarket. Okay.
Yes, sir.
The average height of your average human being is like, where it pertains to a woman, is like 5'6", 5'5", 5'6". The average height of a male is 5'8". If you're in a modern supermarket, the average height of your shelves is 6 feet. It's common courtesy. It's something I do all day as I'm patrolling through the store if I'm not unloading trucks. That goblin there, she should be like the one that she embarrassed her husband. All she basically said to the world that this is my property. He's a beast of burden. Like it she just wanted to inflate her ego to make herself feel better than she actually is. And I felt sorry for the husband. He need to look in the mirror at some self-reflection. I rest my mic.
Okay. Okay. Interesting thoughts, y'all. Interesting thoughts so far. Now, I'm going to say, I'm kind of rocking with y'all to a certain degree because she could not wait to say her husband need permission. Yeah, she is trying to embarrass her husband. Yeah, that's trying to quote unquote emasculate a man. Now, maybe that's her first time saying something like that. Maybe she doesn't necessarily do that all the time. We can say that too. But it seemed like she was tickled pink about the situation and she felt victory. Now, I'm going to say this, y'all. I'm going to say this. And I mean this in the most legitimate, real way. Because we seen what she looked like. Now, I didn't think about the looks part until I saw the other young lady mention looks. And I'm like, yeah, we are talking about women. I gotta put my mindset more into how women move on things. So you have a woman who is not gonna be accused of winning a beauty contest. No one's gonna accuse her of being Miss America. Let's just keep that real, okay? And we have other women, other women who asked her husband to grab that box. So when her husband looked at her just to make sure it was cool, now was he trying to get permission? I doubt it. But that's the word she chose to use. That's the word she chose. So even if she don't have a bad relationship with the husband or she doesn't try to embarrass him, she sure didn't help herself in that moment. But I'm gonna say she may have been very, 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 very excited at that moment because she know what she looked like. And we're talking about women, y'all. This ain't about how we look at it as men. These are women in this situation. She know what she looked like. I'm going to say chances are the other two women that were there and whoever asked for the box or whatever, okay, the other young lady made the box of noodles, I can roll with that. So one young lady asked for a quote-unquote box of noodles. What's the chances that the other two ladies were not more attractive than she is? You got to think about that. The other two young ladies that asked for that box is probably a lot more attractive than she is. Now, for her, that's a victory. Her husband at least care about her enough that when she's around, he's going to look at her to consider her feelings on the situation. In her world, she just won. Now she's celebrating like she done won a championship to a certain degree. So I'm gonna give her a little bit of room because I think she's really celebrating. She just quote unquote outdid those other two more attractive women. That's what I really believe is going on in my heart. You saw those other women and you are glad your husband looked at you before he just made a move, filling in the request of these other women that were more attractive than you. So she felt great about that. I think that's a very real thing. And I think that's very much a part of the situation, which is why she will obviously get online before she can even get out the stove to quote unquote do her celebration dance.
I
This is a,
understand. Can I say something? Is it okay?
go ahead. Go ahead.
I understand where you're coming, and I look at it like it's the way she worded it. It looked like she made it seem like she had a husband. She should have took it the victory as he respect me enough to consider my feelings first before he did something. He didn't want to embarrass me. But in return, she embarrassed her husband. I don't think she did it intentionally, but she was accepted. She shouldn't have looked at it like, oh, yeah, he better not. She should have looked at it like, oh, he respect me and love. Look at my husband. He loved me, respect me enough not to embarrass me.
I'm not gonna say she shouldn't have took it that way, but I'm gonna say based on this quote unquote celebration, there, y'all, this is the end zone. You know you won the game.
Oh yeah,
With this
I bet
touchdown.
she got a big box of cupcakes and celebrated.
Yeah, this is an end zone dance. That's what this is. Now, Lena, you may not know what the end zone dance is, but when you score a touchdown in the football game,
Yeah, you
you
did.
do a
I'm from
celebration.
Chicago.
You do a
You
little
know I
celebration.
know.
So
We doing good. We seen a lot of end zone dances lately.
I'm saying this the end zone dance right here, y'all. She thinks she done won the championship. This her dancing in the end zone to a certain degree. Now she threw her husband under the bus, but I think that she did this. And keep in mind, she didn't make it out the stove. She was so excited about this, she couldn't go outside and get in the car and make a video. She had to do this right now. Okay, whenever right now happened, she was doing it right now. We couldn't even check out before I tell the world how I just beat these other chicks. So I think that is her main concern at that moment. Her main concern is her versus those other women, and she was able to beat them both.
Hey,
Shout out to Compassionate and Callous. He says there is no law or principle of respect that a woman must observe when it comes to an unattractive woman. That's how women operate. Laugh out loud. And I'm going to say he kind of right, y'all. He kind of right. Go ahead. Go ahead, Sarge. You was about to say something. Go ahead.
I should have changed it. It's me, Red Pill Sleeper Cell, right?
No, absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. I'm just giving you your respect. That's all.
All right. I appreciate that, Roger. This has nothing to do with the top shelf. This is all about her ego and more so how she perceives her husband. Like I said, she probably see him as a beast of burden, as a piece of property. And we all look, I'm a manager in a supermarket, and I can only speculate that we all shop in supermarkets, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know how tight those fucking aisles are? And if somebody's in need, they're going to be holding up the traffic. I mean, that's what maybe is where I'm from. Like, I see customers helping other customers, especially elderly people and people that are short. Like, you need this, ma'am or sir? Here you go. Because I want to get through the aisle. And you're holding up the traffic. And especially depending on if it's a holiday, if it's the first of the month, or I got other things to do. I want to get my stuff so I could go to the register and go home. This is all about her ego. This is a big ego boost for her.
I'm gonna have to agree 1,000,000%. Her ego is on fleek right now. This is so celebratory to her, and the fact that she couldn't even make it outside to the car, y'all. She couldn't make it to the car. So yeah, her ego is all in this, and I think the other women were, probably some younger, thinner women. Okay, probably better built bodies and all that type of stuff. Or come on now, because if this was another older woman, a bigger woman, is she gonna make this video? I'm not saying the older woman wouldn't have made the same mistake, shouldn't, say instead of not, not. I mean, the mistake is not addressing the other woman. Acknowledge, based on how she said the story, the other young ladies didn't even acknowledge her presence. An older woman may do something like that, but I don't think she's gonna take it the same way. She's not gonna be so excited that she's jumping on the internet trying to tell everybody. More than likely just going live immediately. I'm assuming that's how she did that.
You know what the irony is? Like it was like a couple of months ago, like the big topic that was going through social media, black social media, so to say, was that, would you ask your husband to help another woman out if she was in dire need? Would you be okay if another woman was being assaulted or whatever? Would you help her out? It's okay for your husband to potentially die saving a woman from violence, but you have a problem with your husband grabbing some macaroni off the top shelf for a fellow customer. The logic doesn't make sense.
What? You know what? I don't think this is coming from any logical place at all. You know, and I appreciate you saying that, because I want to acknowledge this is not about logic. This is about wins, losses, her being victorious over some random women that she don't know. The fact that more than likely they're much cuter than what she is, and I'm not saying that in a disrespectful way, y'all. Why? Because number one, she's a married woman, so her looks ain't really coming into play to other men. She's a married woman. She good no matter what. Now, people can say, and I get it. When the women look at her, they're going to look at how she looks to a certain degree. But see, she's married. She's beautiful in her husband's eyes. And that's all she needs to be. You know, so I'm not saying anything about her looks as if they matter to me. She's beautiful in her husband's eyes. She good on looks. But see, to other women, it ain't the same thing. And it was something there. I'm going to assume it was something there about the other young ladies thinking they can get her husband to do something without checking in with her. So women do this thing as a show of dominance to each other. So I believe that's what they were going for. I definitely believe that's what they were going for.
She was already dominant. She's a kept woman. She already won in life.
No, I mean,
the fact that she's a wife.
I agree with that. I'm saying the single women, because it was two, the way she told the story. The two single women, they were trying to make a move against her to show that they were dominant over her to her own husband. That's what I really believe happened. It was just a subtle move by saying, "Can you grab my box?" But at the end of the day, it's still, that's women trying to dominate other women. Yeah. So I get the wife's excitement. I get it, you know. You know, and she obviously was super excited because she didn't make it out the store. Okay, she didn't make it out the store. Y'all, you know what? I'm gonna call her, because I'm gonna start naming these folks, y'all. I'm gonna call her Sophia. That's what I'm gonna I'm gonna call the wife Sophia. Sophia is extremely excited that she was able to be dominant over the two young ladies going on. Shout out to Inspired Truth Broadcast one more again. He says, remember, having a boyfriend is an embarrassing debate. I sure remember that. And you know what? I got to say, we got to think about this, y'all. This ain't a boyfriend situation. This is a man and wife. So this is a higher level. And I'm going to say the women are trying to put the quote unquote girlfriend on the same level as the wife. Because when you start saying, well, partner, significant other, girlfriend, you're trying to put that on the wife level. The top rung is wife. It's that simple at the end of the day. You can't get higher than the wife. Okay? It is what it is. The only position that I can give more respect to than a wife is a widow. And that's it. You know, and widow stems from being a wife. Can't get no bigger than that. So I think, see, y'all got to see how the women play the game. They're trying to, you know, put themselves on the same level as a wife. Number one, you're not a wife. Number two, the ladies that were involved in this, okay, I'm going to call those ladies Chrissy and Tiffany, y'all. Chrissy is the one who asked the husband to grab some off the shelf. And I'm going to put Tiffany as the friend that was with him. So in case we refer to them, we going to give them Chrissy and Tiffany, okay? Sophia is this married woman who's excited about her victory. And I'm going to say she just celebrated wrong, okay? She celebrated wrong. She picked a poor way to celebrate. But I do understand she's extremely excited that she just beat Chrissy and Tiffany. She's excited about this. She's happy. She's seeing her husband still feel some kind of way about her. So she's very ecstatic about the fact that she can still beat Chrissy and Tiffany. out on whatever this means to her. Y'all gotta keep in mind, this is the logic of women. Okay, this is the logic of women. Shout out to Compassion and Callous. He says, the problematic part of this is the wife getting off by having her husband in check. That's what she got off on. No, I'm gonna say Compassionate and Callous. This is what I'm gonna say. Whether that's true or not, I think she was excited about that. But I do also believe that a large part of that, and I'm not saying it's a different thing, is when it got put to the test, she won. She's super excited that she got put to the test. You know, her husband got put to the test and she won. So yes, I'm going to say having her husband in check was a large part of it too. And being able to dominate over Chrissy and Tiffany, because Chrissy wanted some noodles off the shelf. And, you know, the husband wasn't going just because Chrissy wanted him to go. So I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think both of those are very, very, very much important. Now, I do want to say shout out to this white woman. At least she offering beer, wine, and dinner. Okay? She offered beer, wine, and dinner. I'm going to say black women need to learn from this. Okay? Black women need to learn from this. Now, why am I saying this? Because a lot of this stuff is just plain stupid in the first place. Trying to tell other women that their husband should be on loan to their to random women sound crazy enough in itself. Now, I'm going to say at least the white woman got something to offer. Okay? She said, hey, let me have your husband. You know, I'll give you some wine or maybe some beer. And I even cook y'all dinner. Now, I'm going to say she's still just as crazy because she's trying to get somebody else's husband to do labor for her. That sound crazy. And you know, one young lady mentioned girl code. There's never been a girl code. Women have respect for other men. How much general respect they have for each other, I don't know about all that. I don't know about all that. If girl code ever existed, it's been gone for a long time. Okay? People throw those words out there, but there's no real meaning behind those words. What's a girl code? What do women do for each other? Now, I know some of y'all may say, well, now women gonna look out for other women are trying to protect themselves. They'll look out for another woman because they want to be able to get away with the same thing themselves. It ain't even about having solidarity with other women. So I don't know any girl code that exists to this day. Now, maybe in history, you could say girl code, but ain't no girl code today. Women just agree with stuff because if they pull the same nonsense, they want to be able to get away with it too. That's not code. That's looking out for self. And that's real talk. Now, I'm going to read this real quick. Then I got one more guest coming up. I'm going to pull you up and let you get the mic. Shout out to my main man, Jerome Payne. He said, Roger said women's and logic in the same sentence. I already see where this is going. That's like saying women and accountability in the same sentence. Yeah. Two things that don't match. I see where you are, Jerome. I see where you are. I appreciate that too. I definitely appreciate that too, man. Look, I get what you're saying, brother. Yes. But when I say women's logic, of course, I'm not talking about actual logic. I'm just talking about these crazy ways that women see the world. And that's why I'm going to say again and reiterate, I don't even think it's a girl code. It's women who will say something when another woman is in a situation because that woman wants to reserve her right to get away with the same thing later on down the road if she makes that choice. That's all it really is. It's not about the other women. It's about her looking out for self. And shout out to Afro Merchant. He says, rent a husband tax, hashtag dignity over vagina, hashtag long live Negroes in the wilderness. Hashtag long live the habitual last episode. Shout out to you, my brother. Shout out to you, my brother. Appreciate the super chat. Appreciate the super chat. Now we have Yogami in the building. So I'm going to go ahead and give him the mic. What you got for us on this one, my brother? Yogami, you are on mute if you're speaking. If you are speaking, you're on mute. There you go. There you go.
Okay, let me see. Yeah. So I was saying, greetings, Roger. Thank you for having me on the panel today.
Greetings, brother. Greetings.
Concerning the first video, in my eyes, it looks like an inversion of the order of nature, at least in the order, the dynamics between men and women, as you would see, at least in most places around the world. If, for example, I was a man and was trying to get to interact with the let's say the wife of someone, then I would first ask the man first to interact with the woman. I would not go directly to the wife. But in the situation of the first video, we can clearly see an inversion of what is most supposed to be observed around the world. In this situation, the woman was as if the possessor of the man, as if she was the authority. And we actually observe that the man seems to be, for a better word, trained to behave in such a way. He is in the subordinate role. So she essentially acts as if she was the husband and he was the wife. The situation in the store. And she also overcomplicates the situation that was just as Sergeant Connie explaining, that was just helping someone in the store. But the very situation that she exposed is essentially to show the world that she's the boss, the husband is the subordinate, and she's there to serve her, not the other way around. For the middle video, I don't care because, as you say, it's a comedian, beyond their own nonsense. For the last video with the white woman, I listened to the video through another channel. At first, the white woman says that if they could borrow the husband, and the woman and her would be the one drinking wine while the husband would be doing all the work. The woman should just get the husband, essentially. Even if at the moment of the day you say, yes, I'm gonna propose to you food and something. No. The woman should get a husband. She's just trying to bypass the order of things, of receiving the benefit of men without actually becoming the wife of someone. Because the husband of someone else is not the accessory of the neighbor who didn't manage to find a man. Even if you want to exchange wine with the wife and so on. That's what I have to say.
Man, I think you are 100% on point. Real talk, 100% on point. And shout out to Joe's. Joe says women feel their logic. Cats go meow. And I think you are 100% correct, Joe's. And I'm going to say that leans to what Gilgamy is also saying. You have that white woman who wants to bypass the authority of a husband, but she still wants the benefit of the husband. And she wants it for cheap. Because I'm going to tell you this. If she can get the benefits of a husband and all she got to do is offer some beer once in a while, some wine once in a while, and something to eat, cool. But I'm also be realistic about this, y'all. That's a setup for her to sleep with your husband eventually. If a woman gets used to serving your husband dinner, yeah, I understand she did mean, her and the wife would be somehow, drinking together, talking, chit-chatting, and all that type of stuff. Well, if that happens on a regular basis, what's going to eventually happen? The husband going to be up there by himself at some point. And she going to offer him something to eat. And it's going to be something beyond dinner. Real talk. So that's a good way to get your husband to have an affair on you as a woman. That's a great way for the husband to have this affair that just jump on him that he wasn't even looking for. He wasn't even looking to cheat. But you put him in a position where she got access and she want to give him something to eat. How smart can this even be? How smart can this even be? But I totally get where she's coming from. She doesn't want that authority of a husband. So she rather use your husband in bursts and she'll send him back downstairs. Maybe y'all in the same apartment building. Or she'll send him back across the street. Maybe y'all neighbors. Or she'll send him back next door when she get her burst. Okay? Every time she get a good burst out your husband, a burst of work or a burst of something else, she'll send him back. And he ain't gonna say nothing. Why? Because an affair showed up that he wasn't even looking for. This don't sound smart. And I'm gonna say again, women ain't got no code. They ain't got no code. They respect what they can get away with. And that's it. That's what women generally do. They looking at what they can get away with. So if she can get you drinking and cool with the idea that she gonna have your husband work for her, I mean, more power to you, ladies. It's y'all husbands. More power to you. If you agree to that, hey, knock yourself out. But what I don't want you to do is ever tell Roger you sent your husband to go do a bunch of work for some other woman and then be mad that he gone ahead and got his proper reward. That's on you at the end of the day. But let me slow down because Tunnel Runner then came up. Tunnel Runner, what you got, my brother? How's this looking for you?
Hey, I'm looking. I mean, it's looking. You want your wife to be proud of you, but you don't want her to be taking advantage of you. You want her to make sure that whatever you're doing for the sake of the family, and that means you and her and your children, and not be not abuse you. Just And so I mean, if she's trying to lend you out, what are we lending? What is the pay? What are we getting for this? You know, this is a business. And, what's my reward for you lending me out?
Well, you might get a bill. According to the white woman, you might get a bill.
I'm
Okay.
gonna need more than that. I'm gonna need
You
more
know,
than that.
you possibly can get dinner. You possibly can get dinner. Possibly. Okay. Now, I'm gonna say straight up. When I heard what she said, that sounded like a woman trying to give me some. That's what I'm
Yeah,
gonna say.
yeah.
That white woman, she sounded like she want to give me some. She want me to come over there as somebody else's husband, and she want to create a situation where we gonna end up doing the horizontal tangle. That's what it sounded like to me. Y'all can
So
take it
that's
any
what,
way y'all want to take it, but I don't see nothing else being set up there but that. That's what I think she playing it smart, she playing it smooth, but what she really want is to get, she want to have access to that husband on a regular basis. So sound like she wants some extra. Okay.
I
She
think,
gonna try to get a
uh,
little junior running around. That's what she
yeah,
wants.
because I think my wife would say, you need to get your own husband. Maybe I could hook you up or something like that. But you need to get your own. Let your hands off of mine, because yeah, that's what's going to happen. That's like human nature. You get them, the wife is okay with that. Okay,
You
she
said
gonna
it was
take
cool.
advantage.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
told me it was
exactly.
cool, Sophia. You told me it was fine. All right. Emperor Ruckus is in the building. So let's give it to him. Let's see what he got with this. Emperor, you have the flow.
Good morning, John.
Good morning.
Happy Thursday. My bad. It's Friday. What am I thinking?
Yep, sure is. It sure is.
Happy Friday. TGIF. Yeah, you know, they keep claiming that they are strong, independent, and they don't need no man. Now here they are trying to circumvent the fact that they don't have husbands. No, they don't have access to the physical labor and the emotional labor of a man. Now they want to come up with some scheme on some let me borrow your husband. Here's the funny part. When she quote unquote borrows XYZ's husband, the husband is not just gonna come over to mount a TV, mount a wall shelf, and nah. He gonna have to listen to her complaining about whatever. So he gonna have to somewhat perform a high level of emotional labor for her also, because you know that once they get a little bit comfortable, they start running their mouth uncontrollably and incessantly. Yeah, she gonna start telling something, telling stories, ridiculous things that happened at work, so on and so forth. So not only the husband now has to provide physical labor, but he also have to listen to her mouth. And all that for what exactly? Okay, nothing. He gets nothing in return. But I'm all for exchange. If let's say, well, she doesn't have a husband to do XYZ for her, and my wife asked me to go over to her house and do something. So why not do the same thing for me when my wife is on her period and I can go over there and she can help me bust that nut?
I see what you're saying, brother. I see what you're saying, and to me, that is definitely a leader into all that stuff. If you ask me, that's definitely a leader into all that stuff. If you send me to another woman, don't get mad about what me and this other woman doing. Okay, you want to send me over there, and I'm gonna say you do actually have a very good point about the fact, realistically speaking, y'all. If a woman could get another woman to quote unquote loan her husband out, can you put this desk together for me? You done bought something from IKEA, or you're putting this bookshelf together, whatever. Is she gonna actually be quiet while you over there? If you literally go over there to do the work, is that woman gonna actually be quiet and let you work and leave? Now I'm gonna say 9 times out of 10, no. And a lot of y'all may take it that, oh, what you trying to say? Women talk too much. Let's be realistic. Out of politeness, she gonna talk to you in the first place. If we just go with her being polite, she gonna talk to you and have this idea that she must entertain you while you're doing this work. When you probably just want her to shut up so you can get this out the way and go on about your business. But that's not how it's gonna happen 9 times out of 10 in a realistic world. But we do have truth teller here, y'all. So, the audience is waiting to hear Truth Teller's perspective on this one. I wonder where he's going to go. Shout out to Hero Behind Podcast. He said, Truth Teller, I know he wanted to see what you was going to do with this. He said, Truth Teller going to snap on this, okay? So, let's see what you do with it, brother. Let's see what you do.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, I'm gonna come at this from a completely different direction. I would slap the hell out of my wife if she thought she could loan me out to somebody. That's the first thing. Second thing is, it's up to me to make the decision if I want to help a strange hoe in the supermarket. I ain't like all this, chicks running around here with the belt and these niggas looking at their wives for permission. What? I don't understand. Now, I know we want to get to reciprocation, and if I give, you give. But listen, if I decide to help pull your box of cereal off the top shelf because you can't reach it, you think my wife can look at me and say, "Why'd you help them?" I felt like it. What you asking me for? What the hell's wrong with you? That's gonna be an argument in my house, so my wife wouldn't even bother. You don't question me with my decisions. Now, if my decisions affect you, you may be able to inquire about it, but you ain't gonna be able to your questioning can't be in the gaze of contradiction. Like, why you do that? I don't like that. I don't really care if you like it or not. Now, if you're inquiring to get my reasoning on why I did something, that's a little bit different. But we all know Black women don't really question us that way. So I'm already waiting for disrespect. It's disrespectful for your woman, if you're the leader, for your woman to question your decisions, especially after you make them and they didn't negatively affect them. She's out of place because she's not the leader. What makes her think she can question you about your leadership when she didn't when there was no negative benefits to her? She doesn't have a right to question you about that because she's a follower, not a leader. And I think we got to get in our mindset, because what I was most pissed about, well, one, the chick with the belt. Honestly, man, if I saw my wife with a belt, trying to do a vague threat to me, I'm slapping the hell out of her on the spot. I'm
But
saying it.
that was the comedian. That was the comedian. Though.
It ain't funny. That's not even a joke to play with because you messing with a man's manhood. That's something else we got to make sure we hold it. I don't know what it's not comedic to want to treat your man like a child or a slave. That's not funny at all.
I don't know. I
And
told him
both women did it actually, but the chick in the supermarket did it as well.
I'm gonna tell the straight up truth. I let the comedian slide on that because it was a white man. I ain't gonna even, because it was a white man. I let it slide. I ain't gonna even lie. I actually consciously made that decision to let it slide because he was white. And I'm gonna say, he coming up now, y'all. Shout out to the one, the only Black Uru Strikes himself. I was just about to say yesterday. Y'all know I took the day off because it was Christmas, and I'm gonna be off on New Year's Day. I'm gonna be off on New Year's. The 6 national holidays is mine. I'll be here for the rest of it, y'all. I'll be here for the rest of it. But shout out to Black Uru Strikes, who thought enough of Roger to drop 50 for Christmas. Say Merry Christmas. Man, shout out to Black Uru Strike. I don't even celebrate Christmas, and I got 50 for it. So, man, I'm feeling real good right now. I'm feeling good right now. Appreciate that, my brother.
There's poor people around. With your broke ass. Hide the money.
And shout out to Gyogami as well. He dropped $2.57. Now it's Canadian, but hey. But shout out to you for the Trail Bentley tax. Appreciate you. He said third video from the village wife to village husband. And man, you know what? If you gonna be the third video was the white guy, right? If you're gonna be the white guy with a belt, because he ain't out here, helping random women out, I can rock with that. Don't play me with that. Don't even attempt to play me with that. Okay? Yeah, you find a white man to go whoop. That's why if that's how you rolling, you do that. But I'm gonna let that go if you white. But when it comes to a black man, yeah, I ain't finna play that game with you. I'm not finna play that game. Now I'm gonna say again, y'all. Sophia is extremely happy. Y'all see Sophia on the left part of the screen. I'm naming her Sophia for the day. And I do think, again, she's extremely happy because Chrissy, who needed the noodles off the shelf, was a young, attractive woman, probably somewhere around 25 years old. She was probably with her friend Tiffany, which is probably another young, attractive woman around 25 years old. So when she looked at her husband, looking at her, like, baby, is you cool? Yeah, she felt dominant over those 25-year-olds. Now, I don't know what their age actually was. I'm just assigning them the age based on how much her celebration dance is, y'all. Understand the celebration dance happened and she didn't even make it out the stove. This is not this ain't one of those videos where I come out the stove and then I make a video. She's so ecstatic. She had to do it right then, right now. So it is what it is on that one. But I want to give the flow to the one and only Black Uru Strikes. You have the flow, my brother. Don't tell her I set him up like that and I don't hear nothing. Black Uru, we got an audio.
You don't have to say that, Roger.
Yeah, we got an audio issue. We didn't hear anything. We didn't hear anything. I see he just muted, so he must have been saying something, but we didn't hear anything, Black Uru.
Hey, but Roger, the girls did the right thing. They're supposed to go to the man and ask for his help. That's what if they need help, that's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to go to a man. And like you said, he shouldn't. If it was me, yeah, I'm not asking my wife for permission. I do what I want to do, and she's just gonna have to accept it.
Now I'm gonna say I think there's layers to this, y'all. I think there's layers to this. I think a respectful thing for a woman to do is to say to the other woman what she wants so she can acknowledge the woman's presence. But I think what should have happened is Chrissy should have went to Sophia and said, Sophia, can I ask your man this question?
Correct.
That's what I believe really should have happened as far as proper order. Hey, Sophia, I don't mean no harm. Me and my girl Chris here, we just shopping. We trying to get this box of noodles off the shelf. We can't really reach it. Is it okay if I ask your husband if he can grab that box up for me? That's how I think it should have been done. And I'm saying not even to the point where it's an earshot of the man. No, that should have been kind of somewhat more private. Is it going, or can you ask your husband to get that
There
box
we
for you?
go.
Is that okay?
Yeah,
Right.
that's more proper. Yeah,
Yeah,
That's
that's
proper.
yeah.
So just like you were saying, I completely agree with that in that discussion. But the problem with that was twofold. The
Hold
women
on.
were completely
One
out.
second.
Sorry,
One second. I gotta get
move
no.
it
You
back.
did nothing wrong. I'm interrupted because this is just too funny to me. Shout out to Yogi.
What'd he say?
Because I didn't mean it that way at all. He say no hate no Canadian dollars.
He said
we
Canadian.
we got good health care. No Luigi.
That's
Yogi
terrible.
out here dropping balls. He say good health care. No Luigi.
What you say, Gilgamesh? Y'all don't need no Luigi's out there enforcing the healthcare policy.
Yeah, I didn't even mean it that way, my brother. I didn't mean it that way, but that's just plain funny.
That is terrible.
Go ahead, Truth Teller. My bad.
I was just gonna say, I was saying just both sets of women in the grocery store was out of place, right? So if the chick went to the wife and said, "Hey, can I ask?" First of all, she would have to ask, "Can I ask your husband for help, or can you ask your husband for help?" Which is cool. Which that would require the wife then to say directly to her husband, "Hey, baby, can you help them?" But she's not going to do that. She would probably just look at her husband and expect him, because she gave him the look, it's okay, which would lead you to believe she's in charge and not him, right? So there's a proper protocol when you're addressing the leader versus when you think you are the leader. So I do think you're right. But in that exchange, if those young ladies did ask her to if they can get assistance from their husband, she would need to be their advocate to her husband and ask him for his permission. But she would not do that, which is why they're all out of order. So if
Yeah,
they're all going to be out of order, it's literally only up to him whether or not he wants to help them.
yeah, absolutely.
All right. All right. Well, let me get up. Well, Black Rule was having some issues. Black Rule, are you good? Wait, he's still on mute right now. All right. Well, then, compassionate. Go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. It's definitely a chain of command. That's why this definitely had layers to it. There's like Truth said, there's a chain of command that has to be observed in this, because it's not because your wife is not your superior officer who delegates orders down the chain command. So it's a proper code of conduct that and I'm glad y'all broke it down. And Roger, if you would repeat the ideal protocol and code of conduct of getting something like this done between a wife and a husband.
Yeah, I think Chrissy and Tiffany would be the girls shopping. Chrissy wants this box of noodles off the shelf. I think Chrissy should have went to Sophia, not even necessarily where the husband is even gonna hear the conversation. Chrissy should have went to Sophia and say, "You know what? I just trying to get this box of noodles off the shelf. We kind of short. It would be a help if your husband can get. Will you ask your husband to help us?"
Yeah.
And now he can make his decision on whatever he wants based on how his wife approached him about the situation.
Yeah,
but to me, that's the only real way to do it.
Yeah, you run it up the chain of command properly. And this was problematic, like I
my,
said.
my wife would have handled that situation completely differently and much more from a position of both deference to me and dominance of the woman. She would have done it very simply and very elegantly this way. Sweetheart, can you get that down for those young ladies, please? That's what a woman who was raised right would do. That's what she would do. That's the way she maintains her position both with me and with those women. And that is, she asked me very elegantly in their presence, oh, they look like they could use help. Can you get that down for them, sweetheart? That's what my wife would do. That's what my wife has done, probably numerous times over the
You know what, Black Rule, that sounds very lovely. Now, I'm just gonna say, in this particular situation, you got Christy and Tiffany that need the help, but they won't even acknowledge your wife. Because based on what she said, there was no acknowledgement of Sophia here.
No, my wife would have deduced that they needed help initially and would have forwarded the help before they likely even asked. Do you need help with that, honey? Oh, sweetheart, can you get that for them?
Now, Ura, I completely agree with you. What she could have did was step in. So if they did approach her husband, step in, making sure they understand that there's a hierarchy and the highest level that they can go to is her. So she could have stepped in and said, "Excuse me, what do you guys need help with?" So that the husband doesn't even have to try to make the decision. And then when they say, yeah, we need some help with this, then turn to your husband and just like Uru said, elegantly ask. As I said earlier, you're being an advocate for these young ladies to your husband. So therefore, you're making a request of your
Well,
husband,
even
hoping he responds.
even if they had approached me, but to be honest, had they approached me to ask for my help without asking my wife, I would have helped them. But
True, very true. I get you.
my wife would have made a point of asserting in there that
Exactly.
you were experiencing the good graces of my husband and me because he's my husband. So she would have did something like, okay, I'll hope you all get the help you need. Have a good day. Something like that. She would have done something like that. Those are the kind of things, particularly women learn as they get older, how to sort of manage the manipulation of younger women. There are ways you can do things without being particularly aggressive or overt, but to signal position, to signal that you're grazing on my good graces. You're grazing on my husband's good graces. So that's what they would do. That's what a woman, particularly a woman who's been raised a certain kind of way, has been raised by married women, who were raised by married women, who were raised by married women. They know all the tricks that women play, and they learn how to interdict those tricks without getting out of sorts and doing this rather ghastly video that this woman who you have on the
we call her Sophia
because she really kind of
she messing up.
So Sophia really kind of embarrassed herself with But this is somebody who was not trained in the ways of feminine warfare, I would say.
and that phenomenon you speak of is very much more like you said, that we observe that management from the elder women is much more of an art than a science. It's a very sophisticated art of you balancing that, that manipulation and positioning shit in such a way that you can ameliorate it. And that art is lost at this point.
Actually, I disagree with you slightly there, Callus, because it's not lost when they're interacting with each other.
Well, I think it kind of is. I don't think there is any protocol. It's very little other than overall loyalty to the girl code, which is just pro woman, and no matter what, in every case, they don't really have a broad, substantive code of conduct between each other, let alone how they interact with the men. Like, honestly, in my observation, their relationships are very unstable amongst each other.
Yeah. Well, I think I'll even emphasize the point. To your point, Compassion. If you take men out of the picture, men are really their only rallying point. if you take men, that's why in your rainbow, well, I won't use rainbow, in your lesbian, frankly, relationships, they're so contentious. The divorce rates are so high because you remove the common enemy of the man. And you remove the common enemy of men amongst women, and the civility, to the extent that it exists at all, breaks down rather badly and quickly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're not that civil to each other. And what I think that's why it's a mistake to use a term such as girl code. There is no girl code. It's only I will say something on a woman's behalf because I might want to get away with that later myself. That's not
Well,
protecting some other woman. That's protecting your own interests.
I'm gonna tell you why I disagree with that, because you just gave it within the context of there's no men, right? That's a ridiculously small percentage of the female population, right? So we can't even use it as context for all of them because that's just a fraction of them. So all the other ones, men are in play. Now they'll team up against men. We all know that. Also, they'll be in conflict because of men. We all know that as well. But when we're talking about a day-to-day interaction, such as what we're talking about here, a visit to the supermarket, and there had to be signals and approval processes and practices to happen for interaction with a particular person's husband. Women do that with each other all the time, right? Some of those situations are when you know that your friend is upset, right? They'll listen to them complain about a problem for hours. As men, we find that difficult because why would you complain about a problem that you don't plan to fix? They just want to hear, I forgot what the word they use for that, but they just want to
Venting.
have to be, yeah,
Venting.
there
I
we go.
want to vent.
They want to vent, and they're good after venting, even though the problem still exists. And their girlfriends are great for that because they understand that as well, right? When they go out together, like to parties and stuff, and certain men approach it, right? They have certain girlfriends that are the 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 D line, oh sorry, the O line protecting the quarterback, right? You always got one of those that jump up and causing conflict in your game when you try to spit it, right? Just so that the chick that you like don't have to say yes because she ain't got a better reason to say no. So I mean, they do have that. They really really do. They have communal processes that they use when interacting with each other. It's just that when it comes to men and it's specifically their husbands, they take on a more dominant nature. And this lady in this supermarket took on a dominant nature over her husband primarily, not those young chicks. I don't know if everybody caught it.
Yeah, I
It's
got
him.
that.
She is him. She's taking the dominant role over. And who the hell are y'all to mess with what's mine? And he bet not communicate with y'all. That's where that came from. This whole interaction.
Yeah,
So
her attitude, and the way she, and I'm sorry, guys, Roger.
No, go
Uh,
ahead. I was about to get you in anyway. Go ahead.
yeah, yeah. How's it going, guys, on the panel? Good to see you guys. I hope you get a good Merry Christmas, Roger, to you too and your family. Um, yeah, I think that the way, when I came in, I had to go back and watch the video because I had no idea what you guys were talking about. And after watching it, um, I do think that Sophia's got a point, but I think the way she conducted herself in making a video and the way she spoke about it, it demonstrated dominance over her husband. And in my opinion, and maybe this is culture, because I'm from Europe, and I wouldn't, my wife, she wouldn't be upset if another woman, was shopping and she stopped right next to us and she couldn't reach. And quite frankly, it has happened before where somebody much shorter than me was next to me, needed help, asked me, my wife was right next, and I helped, and my wife didn't say anything. I don't think it's such a big deal for someone to ask for a man help, even if his uh, uh, his wife is next to him. I don't think it's a big deal. Um,
Now I don't really know how these two other women approached him. Like, what was the tone of voice? How were they dressed? Uh, uh, I mean, there's some things that are left out that, you know, makes me ask some questions. But I think Sophia is in the wrong by the way she conducted herself in making the video and the way she explained what was going on. And then at the end, laughing about it as if, how dare you ask my husband for help? As if it's a big deal if two women need help and they ask a man for help. I don't see the big deal on that. Um, I mean, I see her point, and I understand where she's coming from, but at the same time, she lost her point. She lost her position when she opened her mouth in making the video and the way she presented herself in explaining what happened. So that's my view on it.
And I just want to say, to me, I believe the safe assumption or the safe conclusion we can come to that whatever Chrissy and Tiffany look like, much hotter, probably about 25 years old, maybe, a couple years out of college, definitely thinner, probably perkier breasts, better butts, the whole enchilada. And I'm saying is why? Because Sophia is so excited as she's making this video. That excitement didn't come from anywhere. That's her feeling like she dominated the two other far more attractive women than she is, and she's celebrating right now. And she just didn't care about throwing her husband under the bus in order for her to celebrate. She could have celebrated without throwing her husband under the bus, but she chose to do it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
And
Roger.
Real quick before you say it, let me. I got 2 super chats, and then you got it. Shout out to Jerome Payne. He says unsupervised equality equals Western female logic. Unsupervised equality equals Western female logic. And shout out to Floyd Thompson. He said, if there was a girl code, we have 100% functional, productive, under black men leadership in our society, and black who will be president. Woo, woo. Hashtag long live habitual line service. I can roll with that, Floyd. I can roll with that. And thank you for the 57-cent trailability tax on that as well. Yeah, if there was some type of girl code, we have much more order going on around here. I definitely agree with that. Would black will be president? I think it's a good safe chance. It's a good safe chance because we have so much order around here. Real talk. So yeah, things would be in place that make sense. So I can definitely roll with that. Turn around. Go ahead. I cut you off. Go ahead, brother. Say what you wanted to say.
Yeah, I wanted to say, right now I'm in Colombia, and last night I was at a party with my wife, and about 30 women, pretty much 27 of them were coupled up. There's only 3 single women, and from young to the old. So I mean, this probably doesn't even happen because the women over here looking to be coupled, looking to have somebody, a man, to get their help. And knowing the respectfulness of having a man and what a man offers.
Absolutely. Yeah, and my thing is those things are in place when you have people in their proper place. But when you're in American society where that ain't necessarily the case, things be out of order. And I'm gonna say shout out to what's this? You pay a pool, I guess. You pay a pool. He said that girl is a crazy hoe asking for a threesome with her friend's husband. You pay a pool. I don't think she's even asking for a freedom. She asking for her husband to nail the neighbor. That's what she asking for. Yeah. Well, but the thing is, she know that's what she wants. I'm saying, because you got to think about it, she's talking about from a first person point of view. I'm saying we should normalize husband helping other women. I'm saying I would offer y'all some beer or some wine. I'm saying I will offer y'all some food as long as I can gain access to your husband. So I don't think she truly wants a threesome. She is setting herself up so she can get what she want to get on her own. That's the way it came across to me when I first heard. The very first time, I'm like, okay, she trying to take some lady husband. And at the end of the day, even if she quote unquote means well, y'all know how women are. They don't want to pay for stuff. So at the end of the day, what do women use for payment instead of money? We all know what that is, right? Do I really got to say it? So
Nope.
if you got somebody's husband coming over, eventually the way she thinks on her own, she's naturally gonna offer a payment of pussy. That's what it's gonna come down to at the end of the day. She gonna offer that pussy. So now the husband got an affair going on that he wasn't even looking for because his wife want her to help some neighbor instead of telling that neighbor to get her own husband. It just is what it is. I'm not even blaming the man saying he's looking for it. She's gonna offer that to him because she ain't going to pay him in other ways. And guess what? Pussy convenient. Y'all have to learn to think about it. And I hate to say it like this because I ain't trying to be vulgar. I'm saying you got to think about pussy from a female perspective. I don't have to cook nothing. I don't have to buy no ingredients. I ain't got to go grocery shopping. Pussy already ready to go. I washed myself this morning. I showered this morning. I bathed this morning. Whatever it is, pussy already right here and available. I don't have to do nothing for it. I ain't got to call nobody. I ain't got to wait on the delivery. It's a very easy, convenient thing for me to give away. And even though I can give it away as much as I want, I still get to keep it. It's very convenient for a woman to offer pussy. It's one of the least things she can offer if she's not a virgin. And that's real talk. That's why think about it. That's why women are quicker to offer pussy than to offer money. You know, and a lot of guys, because the way we think because she gave you some pussy, she really gave you something. My thing is she don't give you pussy. That's like basics at this point. Now I understand we talking about a virgin. This stuff don't come into play. But if she ain't a virgin, how can you not give me pussy? It's too easy for you. It's too easy. Now, shout out to Captain Obvious. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. He said the big deal is Winter is here and Sylvia is already punching above her weight by having a husband in these tough times. And she dancing, y'all. This is Sophia dancing on the field. And that's why I'm saying Chrissy and Tiffany, they had to be much younger. That's why I'm saying they probably only about 25 years old. Could have been younger. Obviously dressed in nicer clothes, probably far better to look at. And just like somebody said in the chat, the woman didn't put them in the video. No, she don't want y'all concentrated on them. She wants y'all concentrate on her and her victory.
All right, Roger, can I just do this one thing?
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
I'm gonna be tacky and did she not look like the mother from Professor Gump? Does she not?
I knew it. You were going to go there.
Does she
I
not?
knew it.
No. She looks like the chick that was trying to wife him up. Yeah, she looks like who? How? Now she showed a clip of her husband. He was a little overweight, but my man is not ugly. Why would he let his wife come out looking like this? She bought those glasses on purpose, y'all. She bought them glasses on purpose, y'all. Who?
That's the interesting thing, Truth. That's another element that came into the when you go through because this went viral. Like hundreds of people was commenting, couples was commenting. What started a question arise was because he wasn't seen as attractive to the women. They were saying she essentially really had no right to be trying to be maid garden, an ugly man. They was basically saying if he was more attractive, women wouldn't even have asked. It started to turn into a different. It's several layers to this.
Yeah, but wait, he's more attractive. He's more attractive than she is. What the?
But no, to the women, they saying he's not attractive. So he might be more attractive than her, but he's not a quote unquote attractive archetypal. You don't rank high.
God.
Select.
God.
So they saying that actually would matter. That's what was interesting to me. They were saying if he was a handsome, tall, handsome man, most women would not dare ask a woman of a tall, handsome man to do anything for them. Like the attraction level of the couple actually matters. which was
God
interesting.
is crazy.
And that's why we do have to think about these things from a woman's perspective, because us being men, we're gonna logically skip past that mentally. I didn't even think about that until I heard the woman say it. Maybe I would have came to it on my own, but as soon as she said, I'm like, yeah, I got to think about this with through the eyes
Wait a
and
minute. Let me
lenses
see
of
if I
women.
understood. Hold on. Let me see if I understood. So, compassionate. You think if he was tall and good looking, they would not have asked him for help?
Look, this was they basically was correlating the level of attractiveness of the man justified how much they would accept mate guarding of that man. So if the man was
No,
attractive,
I'm just can't. Oh, so, I mean, because I would think if he was tall and good looking, that's exactly why you would ask his help. It, even if you didn't need it, you would ask his help just as a means of flirtation.
but they
Well,
but
well, well,
That's
and
what
the
well,
I
women
assume.
let me say this, compassion, because I think this clears it up better. I think what happened is Sophia made the video, but she showed her husband in the background. And what the women are really saying is that your husband is not attractive enough for you to make this video.
no,
That's what I believe is
they
going on.
saying she's not attractive enough for you to mate guard him in the expectant basically
Exactly.
he should be up for service because the women can't be possibly attracted to him. That's how they are looking. That they were
Okay,
adding that
I
Which
see.
means
I
Sophia
see
should have
that.
never made this
I see
video.
that.
No.
Well,
Now,
yeah, I mean, that's the lesser reason, I guess, why she shouldn't
yeah.
have made this video. But yeah, Sophia, for so many, just you got a husband, you got a family, lovely family. Just be happy that
Yeah.
you
Well, Uru,
apparently have a good guy. Yeah,
come on now, Uru.
it's
You
just
look at
all this
Sophia.
creation. I mean, but you're creating frustration for yourself, and people are mean. You know how. Let's be honest. You know how you look, Sophia. You know how certain women are going to behave when they see you. You know that. You know how
But Uru,
some men are going to behave when they
This is
see you.
what this is
But you
revealing.
definitely know how some women are going to behave when they see you.
But Uru, this is revealing to her perception of the hierarchy. Obviously, she's a low hierarchy, low status woman, visually. Or
in the eyes of women. In the
she
eyes of women.
from her perception, she made this video because she believed it was an enhancing attribute to have her husband in check. That's why she's so celebratory, because she's a
Agree.
bench player. She's a bench player that's never been a starter. So this is the best. This is from her point of view, from an enhancing attribute of any woman to be able to have power over, and that's cultural. Black women. That's they
Yeah,
don't.
but
Other
here's the
women
problem
derive.
with that, though. The majority of black women are not married. So while I agree with you in that respect, the majority of women are not married, and women are not married. A high percentage of those women are upset that they're not married, and probably the majority of those women are going to look at Sophia and think they are more attractive than Sophia, and their knee jerk unconscious thought is, how did that bitch get a husband and I ain't got that?
Right.
And they gonna hate on her looks for that reason. So that's why you don't do this video.
But that's exactly why she got to do the video, because she got to stun on them hoes.
Right. And
she got to stun.
Okay, now, and it's okay to stun on them, but then you get the blowback of, but look at your bad built homely ass.
Well, actually, they wasn't criticizing her, Uru.
As long as you're willing to take that cost of being able to stun on them, okay. I mean, as long as you're willing to take that trade off.
But I'm gonna say she's the 11th person on the bench. You know what I'm saying? She got slot 11. She done won the game.
She ain't on the bench.
She done won the game, man. She gonna celebrate. She gonna dance on these hoes, man. I won't. I wasn't even supposed to get the ball. I was supposed to pass the Kobe. That's what I was supposed to do. I wasn't even really supposed to be in the game. I'm only really in the game because a few people got injured. And now all of a sudden the clock running down, ball happened to be in my hand. I couldn't get a good pass to Kobe, so I shot it myself and it went in. I'm stuck.
Roger, she ain't even on the bench, Roger. She's part of last year's winning team, and she's retired, but she keep coming to the games. She ain't even on the bench, Roger. Let's not play games, because if he divorced her right now, her life's over. Let's just put it on the table. She got the rings. She got last year's ring still on, and she ain't never taking it off. But she could take the win. She a champion at some point in time of her past. But right now, she ain't on the bench no more, Roger. That game's over.
Well, that means she got the stunt though, because she know them other hoes that got no ring.
But what Callis is saying is that the other women didn't attack her directly, because if they call her ugly, they gotta consider that they might be ugly. You know, women don't like doing that. They attacked how her man looks. That's more evil.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
They're attacking her championship trophy. That's like we all won the championship this year, and we got haters on the street talking about, yo, you won the championship? Yeah, here go the trophy. Oh, your trophy's garbage. It's ugly as hell. What do you mean? I'm the champion trophy.
No, it's
more like hold on, because I gotta read these super chats.
But attacking her husband is a means of attacking the fact that she's married and they're not.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, so that's why they're going to attack her husband. Yeah.
The video is Sophia attacking their egos, and their response is them attacking Sophia's ego, which is that husband. But let me read these right quick. Then, Compassion, you got it because you was about to say something. Shout out to Captain Obvious one more again. You wrong for this. I'm gonna say that you wrong for this one. He said, "Did you call her Sophia because she's built like a sofa, Roger?" Now that did not enter my mind at all, yo. That did not enter my mind.
You call her Sophia because of the corpulent Oprah in The Color Purple. That's why you call her Sophia.
I just thought that was a fitting name based on how old she looks. That was a fitting name. She probably one of the last women who was named Sophia. That's all I'm thinking. You know what I'm saying? So that's all it was at the end of the day, y'all. I wouldn't do it like that. I wouldn't do it like that. But shout out to Gyogami. He drops 557. Shout out to you again for the Trail Bentley tax. He says later, when wife comes home and sees her husband leaving her place, neighbor will say she was there to move furniture. That's why he's sweating. And you know what? I think that does that refer more to what the white woman was setting up? Because I'm definitely saying the white woman's trying to get women comfortable where she can get, she can offer that pussy to their husband, and it's a little bit more accepted. Is that what you were referring to on that one, Gail? Because I think that's where you was going.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Okay, all right. I'm definitely I'm picking up what you're putting down. And shout out to Elder Blood. He says the queendom games and rules in America that black men have to abide and play by are not the rules in Africa, Asia, that black men must adhere to for engagement. And I'm gonna say, y'all, change the rules. That's all you do. You change the rules. We the leaders anyway. So, we changed the rules. And shout out to Great Black Reset. He said, Roger, sneak this our beautiful black queens. No, I ain't. I ain't sneak this at all. First of all, I'm saying Sophia's beauty, I'm leaving her alone, because as long as she is beautiful to her husband, she good. Okay? Now, realistically, Chrissy and Tiffany, who asked her husband to grab that box for him, I'm pretty sure are younger and more attractive, because Sophia excited, man. This level of excitement don't come out of nowhere. So they got to be like some 25-year-olds that's built right and some nice mini skirts or something more than likely. And Sophia is just too ecstatic. She couldn't make it out the stove before she made the video. So I'm peeping what everything is saying. So no, I ain't dissing our quote unquote beautiful black queens. I'm saying shout out to Sophia for being married, but you ain't have to throw your husband under the bus to get something off on this particular video or to have your celebration. You did not have to throw your husband under the bus to do it. And shout out to Floyd Thompson coming through. He says, Roger, you know you wanted to call her Fiona. Look, y'all trying to get me to say something about this woman. She married. I'ma leave her alone. She married. It is what it is. I can't really go in on no woman's looks who is married. She's good enough to be married. She's beating other women at the end of the day. Now, she is attacking their egos with this video. So I do understand why they're going after her husband, because they're trying to attack her ego in return. But compassion and cast, or what I really should say, our minister of counter propaganda, you were saying something, brother. Can you complete what you wanted to get out?
I forgot what I was saying. All them the Sophia and Sofa jokes and shit. Yeah, no, this was a bad look on several levels. I mean, at one level, I could see why she would think this to the gynocracy, you know, westernized, feminized society, down with the patriarchy type society. She would think this would come off as, on one hand, showing a dominance over her husband, which, there's plenty of videos about women bragging about that. But I guess it went left because she blended that with like not cooperating or loaning him out to the other women, which was her. That's where it went left, where the women she got a lot of critique for, essentially.
Man, for me it went left when she showed her husband.
Well, that comes
on the video.
I think that came after. I think initially the backlash was you not showing universal womanhood, universal sisterhood with, single women and loaning your husband out. But then because she showed the women, that became another layer of evaluation. Like, on top of that, how are you really mate guarding this seriously with a so-called, with an unattractive, I guess, husband to the consensus of women?
Well, I'm also say it's also the women dealing with the fact that you showed this particular man, and they're gonna have a backlash of you telling me I can't take him from you, because that's what she's doing. She proud of the fact that he looked at her first before he made whatever decision. So they're taking that as, because remember, y'all, we got to think about the lens of a woman. They're taking this as you try to brag that we can't take your man. No, Sophia, we can take your man.
Yeah. So what's the proper protocol? Because you see, like you said, that's the flag on the play for him, looking at her asking permission. What's the proper protocol for a man in this situation?
I'm saying
you just politely helped him, and you just go on about your business.
Exactly.
I was at the store. I was at the store a couple of days ago, and a woman asked me to help her with some bottled water. I just helped her with, take a couple of stacks of bottled water, put them in a cart, and I just walked off.
Yeah.
Now my wife was somewhere else in the store. She wasn't even next to me when it happened, but I didn't think I would need her. But yeah, and maybe because I'm old, I think we kind of aged out.
It ain't you, bro. It ain't because you old.
To some degree. Well, I mean, you kind of you've aged out of this competitive nonsense, if you will. Where she's trying to do something. Because, like I say, my wife handles it totally different. My wife, she has a tendency to little girl other women. She has a tendency to put little girl, younger women in a young girl position. That, and she's kind of snobbish, and so it on top of that, so she has a way of treating other women in a diminutive way, because my daughters always say, "Mom, you're such a snob," I mean, and she really is. So my wife flips that in a whole different direction than Sophia does.
I do have a question for you guys. How comfortable would you be if this was you're shopping with your wife, something happens, your wife gets all happy, and then she makes a video to, you know, I'm assuming that she's going live. She's doing this live. That's what I'm assuming. But even if not, how many of you would be comfortable with your wife making a video? I mean, apparently this woman is happy about what happened, but to show your face, to show you and talk about it, how many of you would be comfortable with that?
Now, trust me, if it were me, that'd be the last video she ever make.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, she wouldn't be
I
comfortable
think
enough to make another
everyone in
video
here
after this
would be
one.
like, "Ma'am, what are you doing? Why are you doing this video?"
Now,
You know, I mean,
honestly,
we would have a different conversation when we
honestly,
would get home.
my reaction would have to come after the cameras off.
Yeah, yes, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm
Not
not gonna
during
have
the
an on camera response.
And
absolutely agree
he
100%.
did seem slightly perturbed by what was happening, but he
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 did. I
did.
mean, you can
probably
just
was
tell by his
cool enough.
face.
He,
Right.
yeah, he probably was cool enough to not make a scene on camera. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if he did exactly what you guys just mentioned. It wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
car ride probably
because
was
here's the
not
thing too.
pleasant.
She didn't just show him. She showed their child as well. She made a
Hmm. Point
point of
That would
advertising
have
Yeah.
her whole
pissed me
family,
off.
and
They,
I would think that
oh
that would
man.
really annoy
Yeah.
him. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. See, I've said this before in the past. Just certain times you gotta go nuclear, just so niggas never know when you gonna go nuclear. I'd have went nuclear here. Her phone would have been broke. It's just gonna be that simple. She got to learn the lesson hard. Her phone would be broken. I ain't buying it
Yeah,
anyway.
and
So
also, I mean, he's overweight, but he's not ugly. I mean,
no,
No, but
unless you
it,
guys
it,
No,
it,
no,
think
the
otherwise,
issue
but
that
is how the
brother,
other women are taking it.
he's got a nice
he's 50
beard. He's got
pounds
nice
short of being
glasses.
like
I
that.
mean,
Yeah, he's 50
he's
pounds
tall.
short of being like that. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
the,
he just looks like a pleasant dude. He looks
no,
like a dude that you know you ask for help and the guy drops everything and helps. I mean,
but it's really not about his looks. It's about the women responding because Sophia is saying something as if they can't
correct.
take her man, and they don't want to believe that they could lose if they get in competition with Sophia for her man. They're not trying to believe Sophia can win. They ain't trying to hear that one.
Now
That's
this
insulting
is
to
a
them.
no. Yeah, it is. But this is a normal thing for women. Just back in the days, they used more tact and they were more, feminine with how they would attack this situation, right? They wouldn't actually. They probably would take vague shots at the woman versus just outright attacking the dude who actually did a good deed for some other women. It's crazy that that's the person who received the attack, right? Or the disrespect just because they wanted to make sure they disrespected her. It's insane.
No,
Why he got to get abused
but
because his wife ain't got no sense.
when you hateful
mhm.
and spiteful towards the woman,
Yeah.
uh, weapons free. That's the thing. You're right. In the past, there was some decorum. We're not going to say this about this somebody's spouse. We're not going to say this about somebody's children. There used to be a certain kind of look. Regardless of however I feel about you, there's certain lines I'm not going to cross with people who are not directly engaged in whatever's going on.
A thousand
But that
percent.
was like 3 generations ago. Those people, these young people, they don't even recall certain rules because those rules were
No.
never introduced to them.
Yeah, you
Right.
Yeah,
sound like a code. Sound like
we
a
have
code. Which that's
in
why I
my
say women
family
ain't
we
got no
have that
code.
rule. We
You know,
have that rule that no matter what happens in the home, no matter what happens, that we do not talk negative to other people about each other. That is our rule in my family, that whatever happens, we can be angry with each other, we can not talk with each other for days, but no matter what, we don't expose each other to friends, we don't expose each other to family, we don't make a scene in public to shame the other person. And it seems like that in the day that we are today, it's normal to do that, to be on the camera, do a live, and shame the other person for whatever the reason is. And I don't know if you guys have seen this. I don't mean to get off track, but there is a video, and I don't know if you guys have seen it, of a gentleman who takes this woman on a date to the movie theater, and he opens the door, and three young women come in, and his date complains that he opened the door for them because she was like, "Wait, you're not supposed to open the door for them. You're supposed to open the
Yeah, no,
door
but
for
that
me."
that that video was a joke. It wasn't real.
It
I
was a
seen
joke.
it was yeah, that
Ah,
wasn't
okay,
real.
okay.
That wasn't real.
They got me.
Now,
Yeah.
now, well, I mean, jokes come from a lot of reality come with jokes sometimes. But now, shout out to Dr. Dizzle. He say winter is here, y'all. I'm just gonna say this, y'all. I'm gonna be Captain Obvious right now. Winter was here when the dude was telling y'all when it was coming. You had about 75% of black women unmarried, and somebody talking about winter is coming. Now, I ain't really say nothing about it, but you know what I'm saying? Didn't really think I needed to. But how winter coming and 75% are already unmarried? Winter been here. Y'all just ain't figured out it's snow outside. I don't know what to tell you, But when it comes down to it, the thing is, you're living in the world that you live in. Sophia wants to win because women compete with each other. Okay? So Sophia wants to throw it in these women's faces that she got a husband and they don't. And truth be told, ain't nothing they can do about it. And the only resort they have is saying that, you know what, I can take your man. That's what women do. I can take your man. So this is just them expressing that I can take your man, Sophia. You ain't all that. You really ain't all that. I can take your man. And I understand why they feel that way. Because when you look at Sophia, ain't none of us thinking it's a woman out here that is just so bad off that that she can't take her man. That's not a thought we gonna have. We gonna be like, man, a lot of them probably could take her man, and that's just the
Dodgy,
reality of it.
you know what's bad? All Sophia got to do to compete is change her goddamn glasses. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, I wear glasses, y'all. I'm sorry, I've been wearing glasses most of my life. She did this on purpose. She wanted to be ugly. Let's just stop. There are literally thousands upon thousands of different frames that exist on this planet. Why would you pick these to walk around in public? At what point did you try them on and the dude across the counter says, "Yeah, they look good on you"? Never.
Well,
That never happened.
see, I'm gonna tell you what I'm doing. What I'm doing is I've decided it's gonna be my job to try to do the best I can to avoid a negative comment about somebody's wife. Because at the end of the day, it is somebody's wife. At the end of the day, she is beautiful enough to be somebody's wife, and that guy's gonna see her as beautiful. We cannot see another man's wife the same way he can. That is just a reality. We can't see how beautiful she is the way he can because she's probably the mother of his child. Ain't no telling what she done helped them with and what they done been through together and all that type of stuff. So I can't see Sophia the way he can see Sophia, and I acknowledge that. But Sophia was out there looking for smoke. Okay, that's what Sophia was doing.
Sophia was looking for smoke. She found it.
Yeah, she was looking for that opportunity, and she got it. And she got all happy when she got it. That's basically it.
I mean, I
But
get why she
if
wants to.
she's that comfortable, if she's that comfortable at doing that in the grocery store and making a video and making this public, I can imagine what she does at home. I mean,
Wait,
I'll
how long has she been waiting to do this? I
exactly.
mean,
That's
how long has she been
exactly
waiting
what
to
I
do
was
this?
going to. Sophia been wanting to do something like this for a long time, y'all. Yeah, I mean, understand she couldn't make it to the store. I mean, she couldn't make it out the store. I'm thinking what comes to my mind is it's a Chris Brown song talking about how you can't make it to the bed. You're about to sexually engage, but you can't make it to the bed.
Mhm.
People have had that certain kind of experience where you was just so excited you never even made it to the bedroom. Sophia couldn't get out the store, y'all. Sophia could not even check out and go to the car before she made this video. That's how eager she was to get her chance to stunt on the gynocracy. And it wasn't about stunting on the gynoxy. It's about stunting on all those other bees that look better than her. All those other bees that got some man that she wanted access to and she couldn't get it because of them. All those times she walked down the street and she was with some better looking women and the guys talked to the other women before they talked to her. This been saved up for a long time, y'all. And it just came pouring out in this one particular video. That's why I say Sophia was looking for the smoke. She couldn't wait to stunt. This is like you winning a championship or a really important game on the team, but you the 11th man off the bench. Your only job was to get in there and pass it to Kobe. Circumstances happened, and you ended up shooting the ball, and it went in. And now you sitting there like you the reason you won the championship. Yeah, your point counted. Cool. You ain't scored but 2 points the whole series, though. And that's what Sophia's doing. Sophia got her 2 points, and now she the reason she won the, you know what I'm saying? I'm the reason for the championship.
You're 100%.
Hey, Roger, are you saying she look like Robert Ory?
At least Robert Ory scored other than the big shots. So I'm saying she's not even a Robert Ory. Real talk. She's not even a Robert. She that guy that we don't even know his name. She that guy in the picture. You go back and look at the picture of when they won. You got to literally Google him to see what was his name.
Roger, I'm not gonna give her the game-winning shot, Roger. She set the pick for the dude to take the game-winning shot, and she took that to the head, thinking that means she's the MVP. That's how I'm gonna put that, Roger.
Yeah, he'd have never won if I ain't set that mean pick.
There you go.
But I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to get on her case too much because she's somebody's wife. And shout out to Trail Billy. He say Luke Longley. Now I'm a Bulls fan. She was nowhere near Luke Longley in this situation. She is not think about it, y'all. This is her. Longley. This is her against the guy knocks you. Not what men think. This is her doing this to other women because of what women think. So yes, she is looking for all the smoke. Not because of the quote-unquote guy knocks. This is her getting back at other women. Because them other, Chrissy and Tiffany had to be some very attractive women for her to be this excited that she couldn't even make it to the cash register, pay for this stuff, and go to the car and make the video.
You know what, Roger? I take back what I said. I'm going to give her she hit the game-winning shot. I'm giving it to her. Because truth be told, she is married. She's already beaten. She's already in the 25th percentile. So you know what? I ain't gonna make fun of her no more, man. She's a winner. You can't knock her for it. So yeah, we gotta give it to her, man. You're right.
You're right. Off to the mother hoes because she got a husband.
She is,
and she's just taking advantage of the fact that she has a husband, and she pissing these other hoes off because she know they not married.
And Roger, she's getting everything off the top shelf.
There we go. There we go.
She lives.
Oh, not only that, she has a baby in the shopping cart, and she looks kind of old. So that means that's a real win. She got married, they got a young baby, and she's laughing at these hoes asking her husband to get something. Yeah, she's a winner. We got to give it to her.
She's living a top shelf lifestyle. And these other hoes, they can only get up to the third or fourth shelf or whatever. But she living a top shelf lifestyle. Whatever's on the top shelf, she got access. Okay? She know these other hoes don't. And she's celebrating. Now, my thing is, I'm not going to say she wrong for celebrating. It's just how she chose to celebrate it. And she didn't have to throw her husband under the bus to celebrate it. Because you are in the better position. But you wanted to stun on these hoes so bad, you just kind of went off on the celebration. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to say this may not be who she is as a person. This could be just that momentary, I got too excited because, look, baby, let's call dude Robert. Look, Robert, I'm sorry. I know when I did that video, I was out of pocket. But you got to understand how long I've been waiting to say something to these hoes. Okay? I've been waiting decades to say something to these hoes. So I just got a little out of my body in this one. I apologize. I ain't mean to do it that bad. I just wanted to get at these hoes so bad, you know, because I mean, you know what I've been through. You know what I'm saying? And I can see Robert even possibly accepting that as a decent apology. But I bet you Sophia been waiting a long time to stun on these hoes. Long
Roger,
time.
can I translate that to men language?
Go ahead.
You know how many shot clock countdowns she been waiting on to take this shot, y'all? You know how many games where the clock was the fourth quarter clock was just ticking, 4 seconds left. You know how many times she was waiting for this situation to occur? And now she finally took the shot and made it. Who's the champion? That's what she was. That's how she was thinking as a man. There we go.
And shout out to Captain Obvious. He said he checked Sophia for CTE because all her life she had to fight. Well, she has been, y'all. And you know what? We don't know when she got big. You know, some young ladies never get a chance to be small, and this is the real thing. I told y'all some young ladies I was dealing with. 2 of them was overweight, and I kept jumping on them about lose some weight so you'll have some part of your life where you can enjoy being small. Now, if they don't do that, they're gonna end up becoming adults and living their whole life as the fat girl. Y'all don't know how long she been, bearing this weight. This could have how she been from the beginning. She might have only got with Rob because she just happened to be in the right place at the right time. Maybe he was trying to get through college or something. She was a good tutor, and he kind of looked at her in a way that he normally would never look at her in. You never know what she had to do to get this man. So ain't no telling how long she been trying to stun on these hoes. And it just finally came up. It just finally came up, and she just couldn't hold it in no more. Shout out to Inspired Truth Broadcast. He said, I've dreamed of times like this. Exactly. And that's what's going on here, y'all. Her dream came true. Tiffany and Chrissy was 25 and some mini skirts looking good than a mother. And she happy that her husband acknowledged her, even though these women look that good. And my thing is, I can't say she wrong for that. It's just how she went about it. Because ain't no code out here, y'all. If there was a code, she wouldn't have jumped right on the live the way she did and put all this out there. Ain't no code. It is what it is. I keep telling women they ain't got no code. Men, we have a code. That's why if you sleep with somebody, wife or girlfriend in your circle, they might beat the brakes off you. We understand that. It ain't like we're going to call the cops because somebody assaulted me. I slept with my best friend's wife. That's why he beat the brakes off me. You ain't going to call the police like, yeah, this guy assaulted. No, you know what time it is because you broke the code. It's that simple at the end of the day. Ain't no code with them. She couldn't wait to tell off these women. And let one of them have gotten smart with her too. Think about that. And you know what I'm starting to think, y'all? I don't think Tiffany ever got them noodles. Real talk. The way she was talking about it, I don't think she got them noodles. Talking about, yeah, my husband know he need permission. And that's where she got out of pocket. But why would she say that if Robert ever grabbed them noodles and gave it to her? I don't think she got them noodles.
I think it's a. Sorry, go ahead.
No. I be trying to give y'all a chance to chime in. Then y'all don't say nothing. Then I jump back in. That's what I was gonna do.
I had to get to the mute button, Roger. I had to get to the mute button. I think a lot of this plays into the fact that we talk women, marriage. Yeah, we talk about it. We know they want to get married, but they have no value in marriage. And they don't know how to be married. That's been out the window for decades now, right? Part of it because their mothers just don't teach it. Mothers, grandmothers, aunties, whoever's their elder don't teach it anymore. And 2, they're uninterested in learning because they could go out and learn it if they wanted to, but they just don't. And all they want is the perceived benefits of marriage, which is basically all the man's efforts without any of the work or responsibilities for it. So they don't value it. So when you hear them talking about being married, it's almost like listening to a little kid talk about their career. You ever talk to a little kid about what he want to do for a living when he grow up? And, hey, tell me about that job that you think you're going to have. And, they say all kind of crazy stuff. That's just from the perspective of a 5-year-old about his lunch, what kind of lunch he gonna take, Lunchables every day, and he gonna ride his bike to work, kind of stuff. Are you gonna have a boss? No, I'm gonna be the boss. Well, then who's gonna be your employees? I don't know, somebody. Just that kind of stuff, right? And that's how they talk about marriage in these discussions. The sad part is you have some married women that talk like this too, which is very problematic. Because then I'm sorry.
No, I just gonna say absolutely. I'm just agreeing with you.
Well, the most serious offense to that is if you're married and this is the way you carry on, right? Unless your dude is just a glutton for punishment for the rest of his life, he's either going to cheat on you, he's going to leave you, or you're going to leave him because you're going to get tired of him ignoring you, because that's pretty much how we do it. We kind of just leave y'all to yourselves, and y'all get tired of being alone, and y'all leave us, and we say, oh, well, I got divorced. But and then you can't teach your young daughter who's in the shopping cart right now how to be a wife. So she gonna grow up and not know anything, even though her mother was married. Well, I know my mom was married, but she just wasn't happy. You're like, well, why isn't she happy? Suddenly her father abused her mother out of nowhere, even though it never happened. So I mean, this is just this weird cycle of the fact that they don't have any value in marriage, and also the fact that they're so fluid with the truth. There's never going to be a good picture for marriage, and therefore you will start to get more and more wives like these of those who are married. Because I don't see any of the wives shaping up. Right? You get married to a young wife, they sound like dudes married to men. It's like, what are you talking about, man? Your husband's supposed to make that decision, not you. Well, come on, man. You can't live like he has to be accustomed. He has to adapt to my life, but he's the one responsible for everything. Why would he adapt to your life? They talk weird, man. It's insane.
Hey, they talk at the education level. That's a joke, y'all. That's a joke.
The crazy part is, you know how everybody references college and feminism in college? That kind of stuff ain't taught in college.
It's a lot of stuff that ain't taught.
Yeah, that's true. But in college, they're not teaching women not to be married. That's the conclusion they come to because they don't want to be responsible in a marriage.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So feminism ain't even teaching don't be married, right? Feminism is teaching, hey, don't rely on a man. It never says don't get married. So that's why a lot of women think they can get married as long as they can get a feminine man.
Some of these women's studies and feminist studies, I mean, there's certainly sections of most of American colleges and universities that have a strongly anti-marriage, anti-tradition, anti-patriarchal thing going.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say college overall takes that position, but certainly certain factions, especially at your liberal arts colleges, they do have a somewhat generally a negative view about patriarchy. And patriarchy, marriage is considered to be your traditional marriage is considered to be a facet of patriarchy. So, but I would agree with you in general. I've never been in a university or whatever where just the entire system itself was anti-marriage per se. So I agree with that.
Yeah, they want you to come to that conclusion on your own. And I'm gonna say, shout out to the Great Black Reset. He says, IHOP tip tax, and this came in like an hour ago. I don't know why it just popped up, but it came in about an hour ago. So I'm gonna say shout out to you, brother. And it came in twice. So let me thank you twice, because I guess you was trying to do it and you didn't know that it went through and you did it again. So you dropped $5 and then you dropped $5 again, and you said IHOP tip tax twice. So thank you. And even though the second time probably was an accident, thank you again, my brother. Thank you again. Appreciate that. Just put that toward the next time you was gonna send $5, and then don't send $5 that time because I already got that $5. That's how we'll do that, brother, since it was only $5. Okay, appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Real talk. Now, if somebody ever accidentally sends some big amount of money to me, y'all, I would send your money back. I'd never keep somebody's big amount. He's a regular, so he'll tip every once in a while. I ain't gonna say every once in a while. He does it regularly. So $5 to I ain't worried about that too much. But if you ever accidentally send me 500, yeah, I'll check with you. If you ever accidentally send me 1,000, I'm gonna check. I ain't gonna take nobody's money like that, y'all. Not over here at the Right Full Line. We ain't gonna do you like that. We gonna check with you first, okay? And I do think you are 100% correct that they, college and just the world around, they want you to come to, well, they want the women to come to the conclusion themselves, okay, that marriage just ain't the right way to go. Because they don't want to accept the responsibility of telling the young ladies not to get married. They want to teach them everything that to say this is why you'll probably come to this conclusion, but they definitely don't want to come out and have any responsibility of telling them not to get married. So they do kind of want to get them on their own. But at the end of the day, now you see the women are now trying to make their next move, which is now we got to adjust because these men ain't playing with us. Well, a lot of us out here, we ain't got no boyfriend, we ain't got no fiance, we ain't got no husband. And it's a lot of other dudes that ain't trying to pay for nothing unless I give them some. That's the battle that some women are starting to have right now, which is why it makes sense to me that people would take this little incident and start putting all these extra layers saying, as a woman, you should loan your husband out because that takes care of the women who didn't get married. Now, I understand why a woman gonna push back, because if you're a woman and you are loaning your husband out, yeah, I mean, how long before he checks somebody's oil with his dipstick? Okay, how long is that gonna happen before he starts checking other women's oil? That's he got a dipstick for a reason. If you keep loaning him out, something gonna happen. It just is what it is. I'm not saying a man gonna look for an affair, but how many times can you send him to another woman's home to help her with something? And y'all know how women can be cheap about paying for stuff. So what's she gonna offer him? The thing she offer a bunch of other people for payment. Pussy. It's gonna happen.
Roger, the sisterhood don't offer credit,
Well,
Roger. So if you do a good deed for them, they gotta pay like that.
but also, look, when a woman who is by herself, right? If there's a man regularly coming by to do stuff for her, important stuff she cannot do for herself, that would be difficult for her to do, be very expensive, costly or whatever, difficult for her to do, where she would have to take some risk to be able to get it done. She very likely is going to begin to open herself up to him sexually. It's kind of a natural thing for a female to do. She's going to do it not just necessarily to quote pay as much as it's just a natural thing to do. He's assumed kind of a protector kind of a role here, or provider kind of role here. So if the man has any degree of attractiveness at all to that woman, there's a good possibility she's going to naturally fall into some sort of submitting sort of thing, and then certainly if she ain't getting it anywhere else, you know, uh, she can very easily fall into it. And I think some of these women, maybe that the white woman on that video, I think they're trying to slow walk each other into some kind of sister wife kind of scenarios. There have been various television shows on cable featuring the sister wife scenarios. I think this is becoming a thing amongst growing numbers of women, polyandry, polygamy, whatever. So I think there's sort of a slow creep that's happening here where they're trying to adapt each other or groom each other into some sort of man sharing kind of scenarios. And I think, now they're not going to directly say, obviously, share your husband with me, share, and certainly not share your husband's phallus with me. No, they're going to start it with something as benign as putting up the support for my television, or you know helping with some of the yard worker, those kind of things that sort of just broach a certain familiarity, convenience sort of activity, and it just sort of gradually transitions into something a little more deeply rooted and possibly even intimate.
Yeah, very, very deeply rooted. Shout out to No Place Owner. He's saying, paying it forward, Roger. Hey, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And these women, they gonna want to pay it forward too. They make a friend. Friend has a husband. I ain't got no husband. I need a man to do something for me. Hey, friend, let me borrow your husband. Let me borrow your husband. Let me borrow your husband. Eventually, the husband just go there and just tell you after the fact. Well, Karen asked me to do such and such. That's why I was at this afternoon. And then once you get it to that point, boom, she gonna throw that box at him. It is what it is. She gonna, you know what? You help me move all these boxes. Why don't you come move this box? It's gonna be a natural thing at the end of the day because he's providing. Okay. Shout out to Afro Merchant. He say, in other words, excuse me, in the words of our resident street professor, when she's moist, she ain't got no choice. And what is gonna make a woman more moist than a man who's willing to do stuff for her that she has no obligation to? What's gonna make her more moist than that? Think about it. I'm just saying, think about it. And shout out to Inspired. Well, hold on, one more. Shout out to Inspired True Broadcast. He said, shout out to the full service maintenance men. Shout out to all the full service maintenance men out there, getting all the jobs done, getting all the nooks and crannies out there taken care of. Shout out to those guys. Go ahead, Tony Runner.
Yeah, and women like to talk, and they like to talk their business sometimes to other women. So her best friend is going to know a lot of stuff about you. And and she's gonna be watching you and seeing what you're doing. And obviously, you're handling your wife pretty well. That's why she's wants to get your assistance.
You make a beautiful point right there. She gonna already know the husband is fully equipped. Shout out to the talking women. That's all I'm gonna say. Shout out to the women who they talk too much. I know I appreciate you. And that's for real. I know I appreciate you. Shout out to all the women that talk too much. And only so many times you're gonna go there as a man, and it's not gonna be a natural trigger for you to do something with her because you've helped her so much. Because I think Black Will, you make a good point. From a woman's perspective, that's gonna be a natural way to go. But I think also from a man's perspective, that's gonna be a natural way to go. Why am I helping this woman who ain't giving me none? And I've said before, your subconscious is going to rule you. You can make a bunch of good conscious decisions, but if you buy into the fact that it's okay for me to help her all the time, and y'all see, the thing is, y'all are at a peer level. Okay. If the women involved are friends, y'all are peers. So if you're helping your peer, eventually sex gonna pop off. What do we do as adults? We live whole lives based around sex. Discussions are based around sex. Stand-up comedians talk about sex. Television shows have all this sexual innuendo going on, or just flat out sexual things going on. Adults think about sex on a large level. So if a man is around some woman who is his peer, I understand there's a difference sometimes. It could be a teacher-student wouldn't necessarily pop off. It could be, boss and employee thing wouldn't necessarily pop off. But at a peer level, sex don't happen. Sex on the table at all time amongst peers. Let's just keep that real. So, maybe the women will buy into it. And maybe the men gonna have to do what they gonna have to do because they just think they got to do it. You know, because y'all know how it is when you turn a woman down. See, that's the other side of the coin too. If a woman trying to give you something and you say no, she could become problematic. A lot of guys would just rather hit it so she won't be problematic than to tell her no and then deal with the problems of telling her no. Well, if I'm gonna have problems either way, I might as well get some. Now I know men personally who done told me that. Yeah, Joe, she offered me some. You know, I ain't want to do it, but y'all know how women are. If you don't do it, she gonna create a problem. I'd rather get some while she creating a problem than to not get any and still have a problem. Makes sense to me, you know. And shout out to Joe's. He said the fallacy of borrowing her husband on weekends. I think that white woman is just saying it, man, as best she know how. Let's get into a situation where you know your husband gonna be at my crib on Saturday mornings. So I think Joe, you are that's absolutely what's going on here. I think the white woman just being a little smart about how she's saying it than the black women are dealing with it. And I think from black women perspective, you still have that ego involved. I think this white woman, and I think the white woman is important, even though this is a black centric show, what she said is important because this is how she coaxed the other women in to allowing her to service their man. So you can't even say it snuck up on you. What's a man and a woman gonna do if they stuck in the same room for a long enough period of time? What's gonna naturally happen? It is what it is. That's why you ain't supposed to be in the same room for a long time. You know, subconscious gonna rule you. You know, if I love my wife, I'm not fit to be alone with some random woman all the time. You know, and I'm definitely not fit to go do that woman's work for her all the time, and I ain't getting nothing out the deal. So I mean, just out of respect for myself, how many TVs I'm supposed to help you with? How many bookshelves I'm supposed to get put together, and I ain't getting done? That don't even make sense to me. You want to get some room painted, but you gonna call me to do it, and I ain't getting done? Man, we either talking money or we talking pussy. But which one we talking? Yeah.
It's strange because in my long tenure of being connected to a woman, I've learned you don't listen to 90% of the shit they say. And the reason behind that is because most of the time it's not true. Right? They saying how they feel right now, but they might not feel that way tomorrow. So therefore what they telling you right now can't be true. Because if it's based on how they feel right now, how can it be true at another point in time when they feel differently? So it's just like it's too it's too taxing for a man to have to deal with somebody who thinks on their emotions and wants to take everything that they're saying as true when their emotions could flare up and change at any given time. That means whatever they think is true can change at any time, which is why I'm starting to think they don't really lie. Well, they do really lie, but that's why they don't believe that they're lying, because you base everything on how you feel, and how you feel is the truth. That means, man, I could tell you, Roger,
Right.
go to hell today, and tomorrow say, hey, I love you, bro, and it
Yeah.
both be true. So it's like,
Go to hell.
and
What? I only felt
and
that
these
way yesterday.
yeah, exactly. But then when these ladies talk about sharing their husbands, that's cool and all when she's making this video. But if the chick, your husband's gonna go over to help look fly, all of a sudden now, based on your emotions, that whole theory of sharing changes. So it's just, you can't believe nothing they say, man. It just is what it
It's always cool till I run up in it. You know what I'm saying? That's
is.
just what it
Yeah.
is. It's always cool, but then once I actually hit it, it's a problem.
And you know what's weird? The only time that they're actually static about something, meaning they're not flexible, not changeable, not intangible, is when they apply rules to men. Suddenly, them rules never change. It's like you could actually be able to apply a certain thing not based on emotions, but kind of based on emotions. but those rules never change, even no matter how you feel. It's amazing. It's just, I don't think we should listen to women that talk about they're comfortable with sharing their husband. They're not. They're more territorial than we are. They really are.
And I'm gonna say the lack of respect for men in the whole scenario is crazy. Cause I live with a wife. Okay, let's say it's the neighbor right down the street. It could be the direct neighbor. Maybe she say hi to my wife every morning. They get up, say hi to each other, and all that good stuff. How many times y'all think I'm going over there and I ain't getting there? I mean, to even not think that that's a concept that should be thought about. How many times I'm supposed to help some woman with something going on in her home and I ain't hitting it? I don't do that now. You know what I'm saying? Quote unquote, that's a good way to get in some woman's draws. Just go over there and start helping her all the time. I don't do that. So you think I'm gonna keep going to her house and I ain't getting nothing? That ain't gonna work. I'm just saying this ain't gonna work. Once you share your husband, you sharing your husband. It is what it is. Okay. Now, some people gonna say that that's wrong. I'm gonna say what is realistic. If you want me to go help some other woman, you want me to have sex with her. Because you know she gonna offer me the box. So I'm supposed to just keep turning it down? Is that what we doing? What you my husband? Well, why are you sending me to this other woman? And she want to give me some box. Because she could have asked another man to help. And let's keep this in the clear, y'all. Let's talk about all the other ways women can get some help. You don't need to ask me for nothing. They got all kinds of stores out here. They got all types of services. There's all types of people to pay to come in and do a service for them. Or if you out and about, there's people that get paid to do the service for them. I don't need to take nothing to your car. You can ask somebody who work at the store to do that. So asking me is basically you're trying to see if I want to pursue getting some box from you. Why are you asking me for anything? If you ask my wife, can Roger help me? You asking my wife if Roger can sleep with you. She got money, right? She got a house, right?
The only people my wife has ever, the only women my wife has ever really asked me to help other women is siblings, maybe her sisters. And even then, there was a limited situation, things related to being an accountant, tax things. And the interesting thing, too, is, they always pay me. In fact, and maybe it depends on the family and the family background. I've always been blessed on both sides of my family. My own relatives, female relatives, as well as those of my wife. Those women all believe in paying folks. They very business oriented in that regard. So, it wasn't a lot of scenarios where, I was asked to help with something and I wasn't, there was some decent compensation involved. Yeah, my wife didn't do a lot of this. Well, let me just loan you out to my friend just because she's my friend kind of thing, sister wife or loan her husband thing. That's just not something, and I think that's just kind of on her part, like, nigga, we getting paid, it's like, it's just a general principle, so that's just not an experience that I ever really had to deal with.
I'm gonna say shout out to Yoga Man. He say new novel, Mikase and Sukase, and my husband too. And you know what? I think that would be a bestseller. That'd be a bestseller. And I can say when I was a kid, man, I don't ever remember my mom asking my dad to go help a woman do nothing. And he knew how to do a lot of stuff.
Unless she was elderly. If she was elderly,
and here's the thing,
too,
I can get an elderly.
When the majority of the people around you are married, then this isn't a thing. You don't have this I need a loner husband thing.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I mean, so again, part of this is sort of class and social environment and stuff like that, because you know you just don't have that necessity, you know, where you have all these straight women who need somebody to put a bookshelf up for them or whatever.
That is true. That is true. And shout out to Afro Merchant. He said, Miss Ooh said, you gonna pay my man. Shout out to Floyd.
Oh
I say,
no, I mean, whenever you know, it was always about let me try to find some way for you to get paid. You know, that
Floyd
was
say,
always
Miss
been her
Uru,
fault.
Miss Uru wants that money. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
True.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. And real talk, I would want my wife to have that attitude. If you want me to go over there and help your friends, man, you better charge them something. You know, and to me, I'm gonna say too, it actually helps keep all the unnecessary stuff out the picture anyway. Because if you go help a woman, even if it's your quote unquote wife's friend, once you helped her so much, she's gonna feel obligated to give you something. Pussy gonna come up because money didn't. Now, if you just charging, pussy don't have to. I ain't saying women won't be so scandalous to offer some pussy anyway, but I'm saying if money is on the table, at least from the guy perspective, we don't have no way to concentrate on pussy. We could want some. You know, I ain't saying there ain't gonna be a man who will want some, but he ain't got to focus on that because you paying. See, as long as I'm getting this bread, I ain't got to focus on no pussy. But if I keep coming over there for free, I mean, something gonna have to give. Real talk. Something gonna have to give. Because I ain't no slave. I'm just keeping it real, y'all. I ain't no slave. My family done did all this free labor. You got to be related now. You want some free labor? You got to be related. You got to be plugged for real. Like, we got to know you 15, 20 years, something, if you want to get some free labor. We did our free labor. We ain't giving it out like that. So if you ask me
And
to keep
again,
coming over,
there's you know, you got a lonely woman by herself, needs help. You come over, a hot sunny day, you moving stuff around, you wearing the tight fitting, you know, Nike shirt or white tee or you know, whatever. It's just a bad scenario for things to go wrong, man. It's a bad scenario for things to go wrong.
you start working up a real sweat. She's starting to notice just how big your arms are. and don't let it be 103 outside. Don't let it be.
Yeah, and she's already lonely, and you moving stuff around, and you know, you got your muscles glistening, and that kind of stuff is just a bad setup, man.
So you asking for trouble. You asking for trouble. Now, I will say, y'all, I gotta let Sophia get her victory over the gynocracy because that's what I think she did. I just think she went about it in the wrong way to throw her husband under the bus. Because it's just she didn't have enough reverence for her husband the way she spoke about him. And the fact that she said he needed permission, oh man, boy. Now, if I was Robert and I was about to take her Hawaii for our anniversary, I'm canceling all them plans. You said I need your permission? That's what you said? Okay. That's what you wanted to tell the world about me? That I need your permission? Yeah, we was going to Hawaii for our anniversary, but we ain't going now. That's for sure. You can forget about that. Baby, you ain't got to do all that. Ask me in a decade. Maybe I'll change my mind. But that's off for the next decade. Real talk. So she went about it horribly. But I do understand if you don't get to do nothing that often, you're going to celebrate heavy at the time you actually get something done. So that's what I really, really believe. She just wanted to celebrate heavy because this don't come across for Sophia too many times. And I mean, I don't know if I said something, but I think it was Floyd that said something about they was dressed in pajamas and what's pajamas and bonnets. I don't think it was because I don't think she was dressed that they were dressed that way because she couldn't get out the store before making the video. To me, y'all, and maybe it's just me, but I think the fact that she could not make it out that store before making the video says a whole lot about how much she wanted to get this win over the gynocracy's head. You know, how she wanted to be able to brag that can't nobody take her man. And I do understand other women getting insulted when they look at Sophia. I can't take your man. Girl, please. You know, ain't no in the world you can keep your man off me if I wanted him. If I wanted him. You lucky I don't want him, I'll come take him right now. I'm pretty sure that was people's attitude. But y'all, it seems like people are kind of going quiet on this. So we are done 2 hours and 33 minutes. Hey, that's long enough if people done got out what they wanted to get out. So I'm gonna do this, y'all. We gonna go into closing statements. Okay. So Tunnel Runner, any closing statement you want to give? Tunnel Runner
Yeah,
going
I'm
once.
just okay. Yeah, no. I'm here. Can you hear me?
I would say if you in the bathroom in school, you know.
No. I'm in Colombia, but I'm not. Yeah. And gentlemen, enjoy your life. Be happy. Be proud. Most of y'all are doing the right things, and I want y'all to be rewarded for your positive energy and protect yourself at all times. Peace.
All right. Gilgamy, anything you like to say before we head on out of here?
Keep your dignity. Don't be subordinate to your wife. And beware of the neighbor who wants to borrow you from your wife. It is what it is.
All right. Truth Teller, that will have you next.
I'm reminded of a scene that I saw in a Marshalls some years ago. It was a couple in the early to mid 50s. They was at the counter buying something, and the wife looked at the husband and said, "Why are you buying that?" And my man went one tone up and said, "Because I feel like it." She turned her head back, put her head down, and was quiet and the rest of the way that they walked out. She didn't say a word to him while they walked out the door. Live your life freely, people.
Say she messed around and remember who she was.
Yeah, she remember who she was. I don't know what made her forget, but he reminded her.
and shout out again to Yape Apu, if I'm saying that correctly. He said women already loan their husbands out. Well, he said husbands, they loan their husbands plenty. All I'm gonna say is keep on playing. Keep on playing. It's a lot of women who tell a story about how their husband had an affair too. You think they might have something to do with each other? They might just have something to do with each other. Okay. Emperor Ruckus, it's on you, my brother. Any last words before we cut out of here?
Well, it's nice. If my wife wants to loan me out to her friends, that's okay. You know what I mean? Because I know it's always that wonderful time of the month where she can't get things done. The same way that she feels entitled to loan or just rent my body to somebody else. Like, okay, baby, hey, it's the 12th of the month, so let your friend handle this. You know what I'm saying? So I'm finna go to Keisha house and have Keisha handle me. You know what I mean? I'm gonna let Keisha help me with that nut. Okay, I helped her put that TV up there on the wall, and maybe I'm a hanger on the wall also.
Shout out to you, brother. Shout out to you. I'm just gonna say, yeah, baby. What took me so long to get here? Oh, you know, Keisha wanted that fridge moved out. She wanted to clean behind the fridge. You know, she wanted to do that, right? Remember, she talked to you about that the other day. Yeah, but it's been 2 hours. Well, I had to move it by myself. She had, somebody was supposed to come help, and they ain't come. So I had to kind of move it by myself. So we had to go real slow with it because I ain't want to mess her floors up. So yeah, it took 2 hours, but the fridge got moved. I promise you, baby. The fridge got moved. Wink, wink. And that's how that's
Roger,
gonna
you move
go.
that furniture inch by inch, inch by inch.
Inch by inch, baby. Inch by inch. It should be good for another week. You gotta go move it again, baby. It's kind of at an angle and it slides a little bit. So every few days, I'm gonna go over there and readjust. It's on the incline. It's on the incline. Every few days, I gotta go readjust it. But she good because she got a good friend like you, baby. Because she got a good friend like you, y'all. So that's gonna do it for this week over here at the Roger Report Live. If you are new to the channel and you like watching the best show on social media, make sure you subscribe. We do this Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Y'all. We got a little delayed by, Christmas was yesterday. We were slightly delayed. It is what it is, y'all. Don't panic. But I will see y'all Monday, 9 a.m. Y'all have a great weekend. Long live the Habitual Line Steppers. I'm Roger. I'm right. And I'm out.